Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And today we're going to be talking about how to watch the URC semi-finals for free on a free-to-air broadcaster. As we reach the business end of the URC, you don't want to miss a moment. You never want to miss a moment, and especially when we want you to watch with us on our watch-alongs. You know, we are not trying to be an alternative. It's a watch-along, which means that you must watch while we watch, and we can chat about the game together. That's the whole point of the Forever Sports watch-alongs. And so this sort of video is a bit of a demonstration as to how you can watch the matches that will be played this weekend. Now, first things first, unless you are in a territory where your free-to-air network is broadcasting it, it can never be completely free. However, you can access free-to-air networks through the use of a virtual private network or a VPN. And we recommend using ExpressVPN, as that has been tried and tested by us and definitely does work. And as a result, through ExpressVPN, you will be able to watch both the Stormers versus Ulster as well as Bulls versus Leinster on a free-to-air network where you don't have to sign up, you don't have to have any credit card details, anything like that. You don't have to buy like a URC TV package or whatever, and you'll be able to watch those matches this weekend on a free-to-air broadcaster. So in terms of how you do it and what the options are, there are plenty of paid broadcasters, and every territory will have their paid broadcaster. Whether it's Premier Sports, Super Sport, for example, in South Africa, Mediaset, I think it is in Italy. There are so many different channels, but there will be a broadcaster for every territory. And if you don't have an official broadcaster, you can then watch the match on URC TV. And I think a single match game is about $12, I think it is around there. And that's per match, basically. So it makes a lot more sense to get ExpressVPN and then watch these matches on free-to-air broadcast. So in terms of what you have to do, we'll bring it up. Once you install, so we've got a link down in the comments to VPN, and we've got a special offer for you guys as well to make it as cost-effective as possible. So once you install ExpressVPN, you'll come up to this thing over here, and you need to select your location. So we are going to be selecting Ireland because the Irish free-to-air broadcasts are the ones showing it this weekend. And so you can see right now we're not currently connected. Now, in terms of where they're being broadcast, you see these will if you go to this page, it's just the match center on the URC website. If you go to this page, then that will show you exactly where they're being broadcast, and it'll show you where you're being broadcast in territory. So, for example, if we were to I'm currently now on South African server, so I were to refresh that, it'll come up with Supersport because that is a South African broadcaster. Now, as soon as I go and click on the on button for ExpressVPN, this suddenly geolocates my device in Ireland, in inverted commas, which means as soon as we refresh this, suddenly these are the Irish broadcasters. Now, TG4 and RTE are both free-to-air broadcasters. Now, full warning, TG4 is an Irish language broadcaster, which means that the commentary will not be in English for the Leinster versus Bulls game. However, it still will be free to watch. You can still watch all the action. So in that case, what I recommend doing is turn that game on, mute the commentary if you don't want to listen to the Irish commentary, put on a watch along next to you, and we'll take you through it. And if you just coordinate, we'll have our clock, and if you just coordinate the clock, we'll be reacting and talking about exactly what's happening as it does happen. Which is a lot of fun. Now, Saturday, for example, on RTE, that is English language. So, at the moment, you see it says something went wrong because you weren't connected to our Irish server. So, as soon as we connect to our Irish server, I'm not logged in, as you can see, or anything like that. There's no login. There is a login for S4C, but you don't have to put any credit card details, anything like that. Here we are. This is live on RTE 1, 2, News, and the Kids channel. And as soon as you are on with the Irish over here, as you can see there, bang, you can watch it live. And it's that easy. It is literally that easy. That's all you have to do. And both games, as I said, will be on these free-to-air networks, so you don't have to pay any subscription fee or anything. All you need is ExpressVPN. So make sure you go and download that, and you'll be able to watch all the action. And at this stage, I think it's pretty much confirmed that there will also be on the final will also be on a free-to-air network next week. Will be one of them. I don't know which one it will be, but it will be on a free-to-air network, so we'll be able to tell you where to watch it. But that's why I recommend getting ExpressVPN. We'll be doing the same sort of videos for the Springboks versus Wales series, and just telling you how to watch rugby in the most cost-effective way. And ExpressVPN really is a fantastic way to watch rugby all over the world. I used to watch Top 14 occasionally, as well as Premiership Rugby, which is not being shown here. As well as you can also watch, for example, Major League Rugby and stuff. And if you do have a subscription to a paid service and you are traveling, for example, you can then go back to the server of the country in which you have that paid service and be able to access it. So, for example, if I have a SuperSport subscription, I can then go to England, for example, use VPN to make my device geolocated in South Africa, and I can still watch my SuperSport. So it really is a very useful tool. Link is down in the description. Please let me know who you're supporting this weekend. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon. But yeah, let's move on to Stormers versus Ulster. So let's get that poll going. Right, so neither of these sides actually have been released just yet, so it makes it a little bit difficult to preview it properly. But if we look at the team from last weekend, for example, I don't think the Bulls are going to change too much. I mean, the Stormers are going to change too much, but they obviously need an inside center, and for all intents and purposes, it does sound like Jean de Jong will be drafted into inside center and starts this weekend. All sort of signs point to him being the one that they are going to try and back. And I think that in terms of the amount of the experience he has, you couldn't ask for more. He's not going to be Damien Willemse. And I felt sorry for Rick Pretorius. They are in a bit of an injury crisis there, but Jean de Jong has been there, done that, and I think that in many ways he's probably the right decision for this weekend because he's not going to get blown away by the occasion. So I think he's going to be an interesting inclusion. It also does sound like Sasha Ngomazulu is going to be included again, and so I think that would then mean that they're going to go with a 6-2 split once again and have him as the utility back. And I, for one, was very impressed with Ngomazulu last weekend. I mean, I don't think he blew everybody away and we sat there going, this kid's the next big thing. But what I think I said on Twitter, was that he did not look out of place. And I think that was important for a player playing his first professional game in this competition for the Stormers in a quarterfinal, in a position that he doesn't usually play, far earlier than we thought it was going to be. He did not look out of place at all. And I think that's very exciting. He has been named in the SA Under-20 squad, so he will have a more opportunity to play at flower half, which is more of his favourite position in the coming weeks. But I think that he's a very exciting talent, and I'm interested to see how he gets on this weekend. Apart from that, I don't think we're going to see too many changes, really. From an injury perspective, haven't had too many issues there, so I don't think too many changes need to be made. I think the pack will stay largely the same. And I like to see another good game from Herschel Yankees. I think if Herschel Yankees and Martin Liemark really play well, as well as Warwick, if the weather plays ball, I don't know what the weather's looking like. Let's hope it keeps it nice and wet. Saturday, yeah, it looks very dry. It looks like it's going to be quite warm, actually. They're playing at 3 o'clock, so it should be about 21, 22 degrees, which will play in Stormers in the hands, because they're more sort of suited to the warmer weather. Yeah, what are we saying with this game? Yeah, so is Stormers team out now? So it's not out yet. Now Stormers are playing this weekend. How good is it, the Sevens team with Leroy Hendricks and Nell? Yeah, I think that Commonwealth side looks proper. Can Vincent Stukas play for Vox? So there's something wrong with his paper. As far as I know, he still hasn't gotten his South African citizenship, so I don't think he's eligible yet. Captain Crunch says, I have a feeling the Stormers are going to lose against Ulster. They looked so sloppy against Edinburgh. I'd agree in the first half. I thought the second half they looked a lot better. But they can't afford to start like that against Ulster. They need to start well. If the Stormers win the air scrums, hopefully the lineouts and the general mini battles in the field, I can see them winning. What sort of injury does Damien Willemse have? Is it long term? It looks like he's going to rule him out of Wales. Looks like he might be back for the Rugby Championship. I think it's a wrist injury, last time I checked. He was running water and stuff like that, so he's can run around and stuff. I think it is a wrist injury. My paper space says, my only problem with the Storm is the playoff history. Always gotten talent, just can't finish the season on a high. There is always sort of that weird sort of omen sitting around over them, the fact that they don't play well in playoffs. Storm is playing great stuff, but in the quarterfinal they're a bit average. Rugby Rock is going Weathers and Storm was favourite. Grant's why I said I thought Herschel had his best game this season, and Monty's kicking out goals still very dodgy. Yeah, I also thought that Herschel looked the best that I'd seen him last weekend. I thought his service was just so crisp, and that's what we need to see from him, because that was sometimes the issue with him. And sometimes he was very good sniping around, very good in the loose, very good at taking half chances, but sometimes his core functions as a scrum half, his box kicking game, his game management, his passing could sometimes let him down. But last week I thought he looked very, very slick. And hopefully we'll see more of that today. Predators game starts so late, 4:30. I mean, actually, I think that suits me perfectly, honest. I start work at 4, so I can put that on the background. Newsflash saying, please with Ulster. We started well against Ulster last time we played. Greece 3:30, not 4. Liebach is the top point scorer in the URC. He had the best kicking stats. I mean, he did also miss a really, really straightforward conversion last weekend. He's a strange player when it comes to his goal kicking, because he can sometimes have some very good days and some very poor days. So maybe from a percentage wise he's all right, but he's just got that miss in him, doesn't he? It's a bit like Andre Pollard, I suppose, but Andre Pollard actually, even his stats aren't particularly great. But he has had some fantastic days off the tee. Rugby Rocks is also a playoff problem with the Lions in the past when they get into finals. Yeah, but I mean, let's not go there. I'd rather not be brought down. Stormers by 2. Akers, Peanut and Vague. Ulster Def have a bone to pick over the TMO call last time. Yeah, true. When will the Stormers team be announced? Tomorrow, I think it's about 11:30-ish. We'll try at the press conference as well. We'll have Jake White's press conference up in the next couple of hours. So that'll be up to date as well. And then we'll have a official Stormers versus Leinster preview out today, as well as how to watch. So right now, if you're watching right now, I'm going to put the link in there in the description now. Get yourself ExpressVPN, because we're going to be doing a video later. And you can actually watch these games for free this weekend if you have ExpressVPN. I'm going to do a video that shows you how to do it, because they are being shown on some free-to-air networks, but not within South Africa. So I don't know where you guys live, but it is going to be shown on free-to-air. So with ExpressVPN, you can then watch these games without having to be on a paid broadcaster, which is quite cool. But I will do a video later on how to do that. Contender says, the inside center problem with me fixed with 9 Yankees, 10 Goma Zulu, 12 Nile, 13 Galant, 11 Zas, 4 Sinatra, 15 Liebach. I mean, Contender, you've always had some very interesting selections. That's not the worst one. I think is merited, but I just don't think that right now I would be changing so much for a semi-final. I've always wanted to see Galant at 13. I think it would be exciting, but I just wouldn't do it for this weekend and leave my Liebach at fly half when he's playing so well. Disappointing there are no lines in the players in the box setup. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Jordan Hendricks at training with them, even if he wasn't going to make the final squad. I think that he's going to be a Springbok one day, so let him train with them for now, especially when you need a couple of players. Let him learn from Alton Yankees. You know what the Alton Yankees situation is going to be. Let him work with these players. Which Lions players would you have in the squad besides Vince Tuka? Yeah, I mean, it's Vincent. Vincent, I think if it's South African, would have been there anyway. I said I would like to see me, Jordan training with them for experience-wise, even if he doesn't make the final squad, but for preparation-wise, I don't see the harm. Same as Carly Sardi, actually. I would have had him in there and just said, right, because I think Carly Sardi has to be the next in line after the current tight heads with how well he scrummages. So for preparation sort of point of view, I don't see why you wouldn't have. I just don't understand where, given the fact that you don't have a full squad, you've got 17 players. Why not add, and you're based in Pretoria, why not have Carly Sardi, Vincent Suka, for example, could even be training with them, even though he doesn't qualify to play for the Springboks. I don't see why he can't be training there. Jordan Hendricks, bring a couple of Lions players who you believe could potentially be Springboks and let them help you guys train. So Steve, you should make a subreddit. Interesting idea, actually. I've never thought about doing a subreddit. How many people here are on Reddit? Let me know if you guys would be interested in that, and we can look at doing it. We started a Discord, and then we didn't have time to maintain it. Although I think I could have an idea for that. Yeah, I just need to find out the right sort of platforms that we really want to have a go with. And then we'll start doing it properly. Morning from the Berg. Yeah, I think he's somebody else who I think if he plays like he did this season for a couple of more seasons, he could also be in the discussion. Nell's good at 13. He's been good this week. Guido, morning from the Berg. Yeah, so I think that's the other one we're talking about. Nell's quality about material. Well, he has been in the box squad before. Can't believe Khalan's still not been chosen. Well, we wait and see, don't we? Because Jacques Ninobar definitely dodged that question when he was asked about it yesterday. Stephen Kitsov is fantastic at fly half. I mean, I'm not opposed. I just don't think he's going to be as good as Trevor Nyakane would be at fly half. But, if you want to put the heavies there, I could see Stephen Kitsov more an inside centre. Trevor, for me, has to be a fly half candidate. He's so sulky, and he'd be fantastic off the tee. And, Esther Hazen, for example, says that he always runs at the 10. And I don't think he would run at the 10 if he had Trevor Nyakane at the 10. I don't think Esther Hazen would run at him, I think we should do that. I think we should do a front row 15. Take all the front rows from all the South African front rowers and make a 15 about where they would play. But who would Saudi replace? Malherbe's first choice, then Thomas Tatoy. Yeah, there's also Trevor, obviously, as a swing prop, and there's also Wilco Lowe, for example. We've got so many blooming tight heads. But, yeah, I think if Malherbe were to get injured, I think that Saudi's a very similar type player in terms of just being a tremendous physical strategy and pretty solid in defense. Still waiting for Ross Experiment to be on the Lions. Wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind him, although we have brought Gianni Lombard back, so I'm interested to see how we're going to get him into the side as well. Similani's been quiet this season. Is he injured? He's not injured. The Lions just haven't used it. We haven't used him, and it's driving me up the wall. Grant's back in the subreddit, so maybe we'll have a look into that. Berger Undal, Morning van den Berg, Springboks then, obviously with Vincent, of course. Berger Undal might have, he had a good season, to be fair to him. Wasn't always his biggest fan, but he has proved me wrong. You're going to miss him. If the Sharks take one, Stuka, take the other as well. He may become better than the other. JC Creel was selected for the Bulls with Dan's success. No. We need Emmanuel. We need him. You don't get to take both. We're bad enough that we're losing one. Am I crazy for thinking Khaleesi would be better off playing 8? Nah, I don't really think so. Look, I think Khaleesi's an interesting one because he doesn't play. I mean, he wears the 6 for the Springboks, but that's not really the role he plays. But to be fair, I don't think the Springboks numbers have got anything to do with where they actually end up playing. I think it's quite it's more just sort of it's quite a dynamic setup. I think is the word I'm looking for. Does the channel have a Discord? We do. We don't. Not much is going on it, but yeah, I need to. I think the biggest thing is that I need some moderators and some admins to help out. So if you'd be interested, I'm sure my email address is gonna jump on the bottom here. If you guys would be keen in helping with the subreddit and helping with maybe the Discord server and stuff like that, give me a shout because I can't. That's my problem is that I don't always have the time. So there's my email coming up now. Steven@foreversports.net. If you guys are interested in maybe becoming moderators in the Discord server or helping with the subreddit, give me a shout and we can look at getting that going, or doing that. It's been a long day. The issue just comes with me not being able to maintain it properly, and I feel that's not fair on anyone. We're posting some of your videos on Rugby Union. Yeah, well, you guys have to post, because if I post myself, then that's self-promotion and I get banned. Back in the day, Brock Harris was first receiver more than Peter Grant. I mean, why not? Wouldn't you? Well, who about at wing? Yeah, I think we must do this. I think next week we're gonna have a live show and we're gonna pick a full 15 with front rows. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Actually, I'm actually gonna pencil that in right now. Where's a piece of paper? I'm gonna write that down. France, where we at? Malherbe at wing. Box should have a day where they allow fans to watch them train in PTA, just like the All Blacks. I actually might go watch them train and do a bit of videoing. the next week or two. France Herbert will be the ultimate crash ball 12. Sharks are great players, but they didn't perform well this season. Do you think the problem is coaching? I do think they need, I won't say a new coach, but I think they need to relook at their coaching and their structures a bit. I think Neil Powell will help out a lot with that, though. I think the Box are wasting attacking talent. South Africa is blessed with so much X factor. Emmanuel must stay at the Lions and he'll play every game. If fit to Sharks, he has to compete with Notch and Buthelezi. Well, I think Notch should come to the Lions as well. Marvin Ory at scrum half and Herschel Yankees at lock. Brock Harris at 11 and Franz Herbert at 14. Just pace, boys. Fun fact, the tremendous Thomas Toy is also a swing prop as he played loose for the Box as well as tight for the Box. 2 swing props, double trouble for the opposition and specialists. Hey guys, 54 people watching. Let's give Steve 54 likes. I agree. What exactly is the administration issues that the West Province are having? I know they are looking for investors. Well, I mean, MVM Holdings wanted to take them and they said no. Crotswart says disappointed contender. 2 streams now, no crazy team selections. It'll come. With Saudi, Etzebeth and others going to Durban, looks like they're assembling the Avengers. I mean, yeah, you're not far off, are you? What is your subreddit? We don't have one yet, but from the sounds of it, people would be keen to get one going. So, yeah, as I said, if anybody's interested in helping out, give me a shout on the mail and we can maybe get that going. Stormers seriously have a problem with the lineouts. Maybe Victor Matfield must come back to rugby and play lock for the Stormers. Asnat and Cloud Kanye is my dream 9. Yeah, I could back that. I was thinking more fullback. But look, that guy's got good hands. For all that he is large, man's got good hands. It's not the lock that's the problem, though. We need a new 2. Yeah, well, you're getting Joseph Dweber if you're talking about the Stormers. So bugger you because we should have been getting Joseph Dweber. But I don't know why the Bulls team is still there. But so we've had, well, more votes and a bit more dominant. 68% people reckon that the Stormers will take the second semi-final. Or first semi-final. Second semi-final? Second semi-final. 84% of you guys reckon that they will beat Ulster on Saturday. And I hope they do. I really do. And we need to have at least one South African team in the final. It'll be a bit boring if it's a Leinster-Ulster affair. As I said, no teams being announced yet, but Dwayne Vermeulen is set to play for Ulster. So that'll be quite interesting to see him playing in a massive game in Cape Town against his former fans. And I think Ulster last weekend were tremendous. The question is, can they produce that sort of level of performance twice? You know, did they peak too early? Because sometimes teams do that. And in many ways, maybe the Stormers not playing as well last week could actually help them because maybe it's a bit of a wake-up call. You know, that they can't afford to start that poorly. If I was John Dobson, I'll tell them simply and just say, chaps, you start like that next weekend, we're going home. You know, which is not particularly far when you consider that they're playing at home. But that's the reality. If they don't start well, they're out of the competition. If they start well, they could be playing in the first ever URC, or they're calling it the grand final. So that has got to be a very big focus for them. I think it's just starting well. Because that Ulster side is very underrated. I mean, you look at last weekend, and it was Andrew Warwick, Rob Herring, Tom O'Toole, Adam O'Connor, Ian Henderson, Marcus Rea, Nick Timoney, Dwayne Vermeulen, John Cooney, Billy Burns, Ethan McElroy, Stuart McCloskey, James Hume, Rob Ballacoon, Stuart Moore. That's a very good side. And even off the bench, the likes of Eric O'Sullivan, Nathan Doak, I'm a big fan of. Kieran Treadwell's a very good player. Matty Rea is a very good player. They've got a hell of a good squad. In fact, I think in many ways it's very underrated because we get so caught up in Leinster and to a certain degree Munster, that we come up against by Ulster. Back the Stirs. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there. Grant Swarovski, he said, keep your dirty, filthy paws off of Dweber. Well, as far as I'm concerned, he'll probably be flying into Johannesburg en route, so maybe I'll be waiting for him at the airport, cut up his passport and keep him in Johannesburg. I mean, if that's what has to be done, it has to be done. Newsflash, Ulster for the win. Not Jerry Collis go Storms for the win by 5. Go and watch the Baby Gurus fan requested video. Springboks versus Uruguay. There'll be really crazy selections, even with Khaleesi. Guys come on, Oxenshare and Bongi Manambi are clearly wingers with their wheels they got. I reckon you probably have Oxen and Tuka and Kuno as your 2 wings. Bongi for me, probably like an outside centre. Or 8th man, actually. I reckon Bongi an 8th man. We'll probably have to pick the least scrummaging props as the front row. So maybe in fact Tuka actually might be in the front row just because he's one of the least scrummaging based props that we've got. Rugby Rock says, Stephen, think back the last year where the Lions won in Cape Town against Stormers 37-19, and then Stormers murdered Lions at Ellis Park a few weeks later. Yeah, and we absolutely, yeah, look, we did lose pretty heavily up here, but I did remember that Cape Town game because I still don't think we've seen the Lions play as well as that day. But yeah, so please do smash like on the video on the way out. Please do subscribe if you are new. We'll be live tomorrow night for the semi-final. We'll be live on Saturday for the next semi-final. It's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. Then next weekend, we've got the grand final. Weekend after, we've got Currie Cup final. Weekend after that, we've got Springbok Rugby. So every single weekend now are massive, massive games. These shows are going to be coming a lot more. We're going to be having a bit more of a settled schedule. That'll hopefully be published on Monday every week. And then we'll try and stick to it as best we can. And then, yeah, we're going to just try and start building this community. So I will look into the subreddit. Again, as I said, if you are interested in helping out, please go and please email me and stuff like that so we can get all that going. Because, yeah, anything where we can try and build this community more than just the live shows, I would be really, really happy to do that and very excited to do that. So let's look into it. Yeah, it's a good suggestion they got. I think we'll do that once we get onto that. But people, have a fantastic day. We'll see you guys all tomorrow night. Get your beers ready. Get your drinks purchased so that we can have a fantastic evening tomorrow night and then a fantastic day on Saturday. Apart from that, keep well, and I'll see you guys all. Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's preview, Stormers versus Ulster, the second URC semi-final, a home semi-final for the Stormers. It will happen in Cape Town. Kickoff is at 3 o'clock South African Standard Time. The weather is expected to be very warm, so expect the perfect conditions for the exciting high-tempo running rugby that the Stormers have traditionally played throughout the tournament. It'll be interesting to see if they continue to try and play that during the semi-final, because they are playing against a very, very good Ulster side, which in my opinion, I think are quite underrated. I think if you look at the results, you look at how well they've done this season, I don't think they've actually always had the plaudits that they've deserved. I think we sometimes get a little bit hung up on, the Leinster and Munsters, and we kind of forget how good Ulster really is. And we're now starting to see it really after they absolutely decimated Munster last weekend. And I think that was a massive statement of intent. So the question is, who will be joining either Bulls or Leinster in the final between these two teams? And a massive boost for the Stormers when we look at their team as well. But before we do, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We will be live for both this game as well as the game tonight between Leinster and the Bulls. It should be some fantastic playoff rugby, so make sure you come and join us when we watch. But in terms of the two sides, we'll start with the Stormers side, and you'll see an incredible selection at 12. Damian Willemse, who we had literally had an entire conversation about a day or two ago in terms of who's going to be that Springbok utility back, because his injury was supposedly going to be keeping him out for months, is starting against Ulster. And first of all, I mean, that's an incredible big boost for the Stormers, because he was named in the URC Dream Team. Not sure that was deserved. I think it was a little bit of recency bias. Look, the last 2 months, I think he has probably been the best inside centre in the competition. He's been phenomenal for the Stormers for the last couple of weeks and months. But overall in the season, he didn't really play enough for me at 12 anyway. But I do think that he's found his position at 12. I do think that that is where he looks the best. And I think that he's playing with so much confidence. We are starting to see the class of Damian Willemse. My biggest thing is I think there is going to be a question mark. Has he been rushed back? Or have the Stormers almost deliberately held him back in the thinking of, well, if they don't prepare for him and then we release him type thing, that'll be a whole different dimension. Because the whole talk and the entire build-up was Jean de Jong. And, Jean de Jong still has something to offer the Stormers, etc., etc., etc. And it was quite weird then yesterday when Jean de Jong was named in the Currie Cup side. Everybody's sitting there saying, well, who's going to play inside centre for the Stormers? Well, there it is, Damian Willemse. And as long as he hasn't been rushed back, I think it's brilliant. But my worry is that he has been rushed back. He's not 100% fit. And if he were to get injured tomorrow, for example, we then lose him for the Box Series against Wales. And given how he is playing at the moment, I'd really like to have seen him in the number 23 jersey for the first two Box games, and potentially even starting in the third game, maybe even at inside centre, for example, to see what he can do in the international stage. But if you look at the side, it's a very settled side. He is the only change to the starting lineup in place of the injured Rikus Pretorius. Apart from that, it's very consistent. Stephen Kitsoff, JJ Kotzer, Frans Malherbe. JJ Kotzer, for me, blew me away last weekend. It's the best I've ever seen him play, and I thought that he And that's the sort of game that you want to see players like JJ Kotzer put up their hands and say, some people might think I'm a bit nebulous, but bang, playoff game, important game. Here I am. This is what I'm worth. And I think that he didn't make any mess up at line-out time. He was everywhere in the park. I was very, very impressed with him last weekend. Francois Herbert, Steven Kitsoff, we know what to expect from them. They are world-class operators, so we come to expect that. Salman Murat, Marvin Ori are going to have to sort of set the tone, really, from a physical point of view, especially Salman Murat, who is a very, very big athletic player, and I think he needs to have a very big game tomorrow. Marvin Ori will be very much in charge of the lineouts in terms of the set piece. And then this loose trio, Dion Free, Achiba Diamani, Evan Ruiz, are explosive. They really are explosive because they're all very good ball carriers. They're all very mobile around the park. Don't necessarily bring the grunt that somebody like a Junior Pokamela could, for example, but a very dynamic loose trio. And Evan Ruiz, on the back of a man in the match performance, will be looking to try and once again sort of break down the barriers and force his way into Springbok conversations. Hershey Yankees partners, Mani Liebach. Hershey Yankees, I thought, probably also played his best game of the season last weekend. And the best players can turn it on when it counts the most. This is when it counts the most. Let's see if he could do it again this weekend. Leon Zassi, Beresnatle, Warwick, all named in the URC Dream Team. All will need to be very good tomorrow night, especially Warwick or tomorrow afternoon, rather. Potentially, every game now is his last game for the Stormers. If they lose tomorrow, he will not play for the Stormers again unless he comes back after his overseas stint. So he wants to go out on a high. And the form he's playing in, again, like in Evan Lewis, it's becoming too hard to ignore. The centre pairing, Damian Willemse is next to Ruan Nile. Ruan Nile was pretty physical last week, put some very big hits in. And I think those two work quite nicely together because they're quite different sort of players. But Ruan Nile with that 7 skill set next to Damian Willemse, who's just pure X factor. And that Willemse, Liebach, Kalant sort of axle is just so exciting. Off the bench, Andre Hugo Venter, Brock Harris, Nettling Bashir cover the front row. RJ Smith, Ernst van Rijn, and Hama Klaba, all forwards in a 6-2 split. Garland Masimla and the young Sachem Gomazulu on the week that he's just been named in the SA Under-20 squad for their sort of series in Italy. He will once again provide the utility back cover, and I think he'll be probably hoping for a little bit less than a 78-minute or 76-minute or whatever it was run out that he had last week, where he was kind of thrown into the cauldron, but I thought he coped very well. And looked very much the part. So we're excited to see him on the field once again. Then if we look at the Ulster side, it's a good side at the end of the day. It's class, it's international quality in key positions. None other than the 8th man, Dwayne Vermeulen, obviously in front of his old home crowd. Will be under a lot of pressure to perform. But in the front row, Andrew Warwick, Rob Herring, and Tom O'Toole will provide a very stern battle for the likes of Kitsoff, Kotze, and Malherbe. Alan O'Connor is partnered with Ian Henderson, British and Irish line cat player. I think he's been in 3 tours. Captains the side. He probably will be an international centurion. And then the loose trio of Marcus Rea, Nick Timoney, Dwayne Vermeulen are quite interesting. And what was quite interesting about Dwayne Vermeulen is he was asked about Evan Ruiz in terms of is he going to be his replacement? And he basically said, we're not the same player though. He says that he belongs with the forwards, whereas Evan Ruiz finds himself, and he's right. So sometimes in the midfield, sometimes more on the wings, for example, he finds himself running around with the backline a lot of the time. Which is sometimes why he's so effective, because you've got somebody like Evan Ruiz who can sometimes be running in a fly half channel, can be running against a wing, for example. And just in terms of brute force, he's obviously going to always have the upper hand there. So interesting to see how these sort of loose trios quite different in many ways. And just see how they'll operate. John Cooney partners Billy Burns. Billy Burns is a player of confidence. When he's playing well, he's fantastic. He can be a match winner. But if you can get to him, if you can put him off his game nice and early, then sometimes he can have those off days, and they're going to need him to have an off day. 2 wings, Ethan McElroy and Robert Balakoon, and then you've got Stuart McCloskey and James Hume. I quite like that centre pairing. I think James Hume's a very talented player, but I quite like Stuart McCloskey. I think he's quite direct. I think he's quite an exciting runner, and I think he's quite underrated in many ways. And then Stuart Moore is on the bench. It starts at full back rather. The bench is John Andrew, Eric O'Sullivan, and Gareth Milicinovich. So quite a lot of experience there coming off the bench. Also, there's a lot of experience in Kieran Treadwell, Matthew Rea. Then a very exciting selection, the likes of Nathan Doak. I'm a big fan. Ian Madahan and Ben Moxon will cover the rest of the backline. 2 very good sides, as you expect when it comes to a semi-final. Home advantage is for the Stormers. Conditions, I think, also will suit the Stormers. They need to have a go at this Ulster side. It's going to be warm. So try and tie them out. It's not at altitude, but it's still going to be warm. It's still going to be difficult conditions. Just throw everything at them and see if they can cope is the only sort of advice I suppose I could give to the Stormers. But let me know what you think is going to happen down in the comments below. Give me your score predictions. Please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen. I'll chat to you soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And today we're going to be talking about how to watch the URC semi-finals for free on a free-to-air broadcaster. As we reach the business end of the URC, you don't want to miss a moment. You never want to miss a moment, and especially when we want you to watch with us on our watch-alongs. You know, we are not trying to be an alternative. It's a watch-along, which means that you must watch while we watch, and we can chat about the game together. That's the whole point of the Forever Sports watch-alongs. And so this sort of video is a bit of a demonstration as to how you can watch the matches that will be played this weekend. Now, first things first, unless you are in a territory where your free-to-air network is broadcasting it, it can never be completely free. However, you can access free-to-air networks through the use of a virtual private network or a VPN, and we recommend using ExpressVPN, as that has been tried and tested by us and definitely does work. And as a result, through VPN, ExpressVPN, you will be able to watch both the Stormers versus Ulster as well as Bulls versus Leinster on a free-to-air network where you don't have to sign up, you don't have to have any credit card details, anything like that. You don't have to buy like a URC package or whatever, and you'll be able to watch those matches this weekend on a free-to-air broadcaster. So in terms of how you do it and what the options are, there are plenty of paid broadcasters, and every territory will have their paid broadcaster. Whether it's Premier Sports, Super Sport, for example, in South Africa, Mediaset, I think it is in Italy. There are so many different channels, but there will be a broadcaster for every territory. And if you don't have an official broadcaster, you can then watch the match on URC TV. And I think a single match game is about $12, I think it is around there. And that's per match, basically. So it makes a lot more sense to get ExpressVPN and then watch these matches on free-to-air broadcast. So in terms of what you have to do, we'll bring it up. Once you install, so we've got a link down in the comments to VPN, and we've got a special offer for you guys as well to make it as cost-effective as possible. So once you install ExpressVPN, you'll come up to this thing over here, and you need to select your location. So we are going to be selecting Ireland because the Irish free-to-air broadcasts are the ones showing it this weekend. So you can see right now we're not currently connected. Now, in terms of where they're being broadcast, you see these will if you go to this page, it's just the match center on the URC website. If you go to this page, then that will show you exactly where they're being broadcast, and it'll show you where you're being broadcast in territory. So, for example, if we were to I'm currently on South African server, so I were to refresh that, it'll come up with SuperSport, because that is the South African broadcaster. Now, as soon as I go and click on the on button for ExpressVPN, this suddenly geolocates my device in Ireland, in inverted commas, which means as soon as we refresh this, suddenly these are the Irish broadcasters. Now, TG4 and RTE are both free-to-air broadcasters. Now, full warning, TG4 is an Irish language broadcaster, which means that the commentary will not be in English for the Leinster versus Bulls game. However, it still will be free to watch. You can still watch all the action. So in that case, what I recommend doing is turn that game on, mute the commentary if you don't want to listen to the Irish commentary, put on a watch along next to you, and we'll take you through it. And if you just coordinate, we'll have our clock, and if you just coordinate the clock, we'll be reacting and talking about exactly what's happening as it does happen, which is a lot of fun. Now, Saturday, for example, on RTE, that is English language. So at the moment, you see it says something went wrong because you weren't connected to our Irish server. So as soon as we connect to our Irish server, I'm not logged in, as you can see, or anything like that. There's no login. There is a login for S4C, but you don't have to put any credit card details, anything like that. Here we are. This is live on RTE 1, 2, News, and the Kids channel. And as soon as you are on with the Irish over here, as you can see there, bang, you can watch it live. And it's that easy. It is literally that easy. That's all you have to do. And both games, I said, will be on these free-to-air networks, so you don't have to pay any subscription fee or anything. All you need is ExpressVPN. So make sure you go and download that, and you'll be able to watch all the action. And at this stage, I think it's pretty much confirmed that they will also be on the final will also be on a free-to-air network next week. Be one of them. I don't know which one it will be, but it will be on a free-to-air network, so we'll be able to tell you where to watch it. But that's why I recommend getting ExpressVPN. We'll be doing the same sort of videos for the Springboks versus Wales series, and just telling you how to watch rugby in the most cost-effective way. And ExpressVPN really is a fantastic way to watch rugby all over the world. I used to watch Top 14 occasionally, as well as Premiership Rugby, which is not being shown here. As well as you can also watch, for example, Major League Rugby and stuff. And if you do have a subscription to a paid service and you are traveling, for example, you can then go back to the server of the country in which you have that paid service and be able to access it. So, for example, if I have a SuperSport subscription, I can then go to England, for example, use VPN to make my device geolocated into South Africa. I can still watch my SuperSport. So it really is a very useful tool. Link is down in the description. Please let me know who you're supporting this weekend. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. It is day 2 of the URC playoffs. We've got Stormers taking on Ulster in about 7 minutes' time, and I'm just a bit worried because all of a sudden my sound has stopped, and I've got a weird ringing, which I'm sure you guys can probably hear. So I'm not sure if it is coming from an issue with me or whether there's an issue with the feed. It's an issue with the feed. Fantastic. So that's good to know. It wasn't me. But how are we doing? How are we feeling? The question is, can the Stormers do it? Can they join the Bulls in the finals? That's the big question. That's what we're hoping to get answered in the next, 2 hours, call it. Yesterday we saw a terrific performance from the Bulls as they beat Leinster to book their place, the first team to book their place in the URC Grand Final today. Another South African, Irish. Oh, hello. Marcus Smith. Is he watching Harlequins versus Saracens? And I think I actually might be on the wrong channel, you know. Although I'm a bit confused as to why. Can anybody check? I'm on SuperSport Grandstand. If anybody can check to see if that is going to go over to the URC game, please let me know. Otherwise, please let me know what channel I should be on, because it does worry me that we're not looking at a URC build-up at the moment. But it is weird to have a Premiership game on SuperSport Grandstand ahead of a Stormers game. Doesn't really make sense. Anyway, we have a poll running in the comments, and it looks like Stormers are walking it at the moment. And I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys reckon? And are we? Do we think that Ulster is going to pull out the bag for the Irish sides? Are we going to... is it going to be the Stormers and they're sort of the home form that they've been showing? Do you reckon that'll get pulled in through? And who are you guys supporting? Let me know. Let's get the conversation going. I saw a couple of comments earlier. Andres says, "Hey Steve, how you doing? I'm South African, but yeah, I think Ulster's going to take this one. I heard Morris Lowe's going to Lions. Is it true? I've also heard that. I'd rather not have him, but hey, what can we do?" Dave is saying he's very nervous. Give anything for North South African derby. Sounds fine. That's good to hear. Channel 211 and JP Volts, is it on URC build-up already? Do I need to go change the channel? I assume it would be. I assume I probably do need to go change the channel, don't I? Blindman Pepper Spray says, Stormers for all SA derby, Ulster for controversial loss, wouldn't mind who wins. Kalanta Willemse are going to score twice today, says Vic. Well, I mean, I'm so excited to see if Willemse is going to be... so I'm going to have to go change the channel. Me and my remote. I mean, I've got a little feature. Work. It's not working. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Don't go away. When I come back here, by the way, we're on 24 likes. Over 20 people watching. When I come back here, I'd like to see that over 50 likes. So I'm going to go and turn my channel onto the right channel. 50 of you guys are going to like the video. And when we come back, we're all going to be happy. Right. That looks a little bit more like Cape Town. Looks like a decent amount of tickets being sold as well. Good to see. I mean, this would be full. It would be full if it wasn't for 50% capacity. The 50% capacity is driving me up the wall because why? Why? What is the point? What is the point? At least they spread the people around. At Loftus last week, it was a joke. I mean, they just closed the top two tiers or top tiers all around the stadium and just packed everybody over here. So, but anyway, thanks to people. Let me know what channel it's on. It'd be nice if I could just change the channel here. Christian Smith's going Bulls Stormers to win this game. Hello, Steve Brown. How are you? Well, hello, McBeaver. Right, in terms of the team, should we go through them? Shall we? Shan't we? Before they come out. Eesh. The guy becoming a bit of an icon, the dance there in the Stormers kit, doing a full-on splits there. That makes me uncomfortable, to be honest, because I'm about as supple as a steel rod. In terms of your two starting lineups, trying to give them to you. Here we go. So, Stormers, it's Stephen Kitsoff, it's JJ Kotzer, Frans Maherba, Salman Murat, Marvin Ori, Dion Free, Hachiva Diamani, Evan Ruas, Hershey Yankees, Monty Liebach, Leon Nzas, David Willems, Ruan Nal, Sebastian Natle, Warwick, the Boogeyman, Gelant. Off the bench for the men from Cape Town, Andre Hugo Fenter, Brock Harris, Nedling Bashir, RJ Smith, Ernst van Rijn, Nama Klaba, Godlem Simler, and Sasha Ngomazulu. Off hailing from Ireland, the Ulster men are Andrew Warwick, Rob Herring, Tom O'Toole, Alan O'Connor, Ian Henderson captains the side, Marcus Riet, Nick Timoney, Dwayne Thor Vermeulen back at his home ground. The halfback combination, John Cooney and Billy Burns, Ethan McElroy, Stuart McCloskey, James Hume, Rod Balakoon, Stuart Moore. Off the bench for the men from Ireland, it's John Andrew, Eric O'Sullivan, Gareth Madison-Novich, Kieran Treadwell, Matt Rea, Nathan Doak, Ian Madahan, and Ben Moxham. That's how they line up. And they're playing. Trying to see if they're playing left to right. They're also playing in yellow. Not quite sure why. Severus Nutler will lead the side on. Because it is his 50th game. Stephen, ready for my mental health to be attacked today? Love it. Anyone know which free-to-air channel game this on? I'll tell you in a moment. I'll put it in the description as well. It is. I think this is the one that's only been done in Irish language, so you'd have to get your head around the fact that it won't be in English. But if you can get your head around that, then you should be pretty sharp. So this one is an RTE, the free-to-air broadcaster. Right, all the links you need are in the description. If you want to watch it, you can download ExpressVPN and you can go to RTE and watch it. Runnerbosch beat Bishops. I've had such a busy morning. I had such a busy weekend. I went to bed at 2 in the morning. Was up early watching both school raggers in Joburg. The provincial flag is yellow and red. That's why one of the kids says yellow. That wasn't so much why yellow is a choice. It's just why they're playing in yellow because they're wise. I mean, I know they're away, but I mean it's white versus blue. It wouldn't have clashed. I suppose there's a little bit of white on the... I don't know. I think it's a weird decision. Anyway, we are away. Billy Burns gives us the action underway, and it should be an early touch here for Ruan Null. And it's an early hit on him from Ethan McElroy. But first things first, they have managed to... Evan Russ has been driven back. Yeah, that's Andrew Warwick. Oh, sorry, Rob Herring, rather, who's going to try and assert his dominance early on. They're going to target Evan Russ, and Hershey Yankees will have his first box kick of the day. He needs to make sure it's nice and accurate. And he does find touch. Not his best touch finder. It'll be just rather on the 10-meter mark. So he'll be happy with that. Could do better, but we'll take it. Da, 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 da. Question is, oh, look at that. We actually need to move to our normal thing, but look at our clock. Our clock is working, boys. We're moving here, and let's get the tracker going as well. Seeing as we now we know that it's moving. Hey, you look at that. Look at that. Look what happens when technology works. It's like phenomenal, phenomenal. First liner for Ulster, pretty solid there. Billy Burns away to Nick Timoney. Billy Burns. And a penalty for Storm as well. Damien Willemse was rushed back into the side. Everybody was wondering if he's fully fit. Well, he's got the first penalty of the day. Really good work at the breakdown. Got over that ball very quickly and didn't move. And he's very heavily strapped on that left elbow. And he's also got like a little bit of a guard on him as well. Thanks so much. Time big win for Bosch Bishop's top 10. Cheers for the tip to watch this. I'm glad I'm in England and super stoked. Yeah, so if you are looking how to watch it, there's a bit of a guide in the comments. You can use ExpressVPN, and then you can use RTE, which is a free-to-air broadcaster, and watch the game for Mahala. Anyway, big moment here for the Stormers. They found touch inside Ulster territory. And the question is, can they try and find... I mean, that's a great kick as well, by the way, from Monty Liebach. They were about 8 meters out. JJ Kotzer, who I was very impressed with last week, needs to find his lineup, man. You'd imagine it'll be Marvin Ori. No, they're going to sell Murat at the beginning. That's very good looking right now. Here comes the Rolling Moore. It's been quite good for Stormers lately. And they starting to get some momentum. JJ Kotzer controlling things at the back. Yeah, it's still going. It's still going. Looking very well set as well. JJ Kotzer's having a peep. But he's standing still. A couple of Ulster players have gone apart. JJ Kotzer's desperately fighting to try and get some momentum. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Well, it's a penalty try. It's a penalty try. Well, what a start. And now we're going to see a card. Okay, ball's ground. So it's just a normal try. It's not a penalty try, so there will be a conversion, although it shouldn't be too difficult. But what a start. And I said last week, the Moor looked pretty good. Well, that looked pretty sensational. I mean, it was so well set from the beginning that was exactly what they needed to do. And the perfect start. 5-0 after 4 minutes. But you can see, when you see a set more, you sit there and I still don't, to this day, I don't understand how you defend it. But it was so well set there. A couple of the Ulster players just being sort of left behind there, sort of splintered towards the right. But so many players working so hard there. And the patience as well there from JJ Kotzer. He could have broken off a couple of times when he just remained patient. Eventually a couple of backline players came in just to give that final extra push. And bang, they're over. Brian says this could be reversal. Yesterday I thought it would be Leinster versus Stormers final. But as usual, I get it completely wrong. It'll probably be Bulls versus Ulster. Hi, you. Hope you're well. Neil says, Brian, you're wrong again. Stormers versus Bulls in the final. Grant Swartz, good start, boys. Yeah, enjoy if it's the whiskey or whatever we're on, Grant. You can definitely have a cheers after that. Expected in the stadium, just around that. Sadie Common says, looks like Uncle Ravi is traveling to Cape Town next week. Whiskey is flowing. Glad to hear it. I'm still busy finishing my lunch. Right, Monty Liebach. I mean, he's not a bad goal kicker, but it's weird because he just has weird misses in him. Not a time to miss a pretty straightforward opportunity. It goes to the right, and that he has. That's weird, because that's not a difficult kick. But he is the leading point scorer for a reason, so it's not like he's got an unreliable boot. He's just got, as I said, he's just got that weird miss in him. And he'll miss ones that you just don't expect somebody of his caliber to miss. But they'll be very happy with that start. And restart, well, it was well kept inside, I think, in the end there, but it comes away from Salim Murat, but was it out in the full? Yep, it was directly in touch from Billy Burns, so they'll have the option of a scrum or a line out. I'd like to see a scrum. Halfway line. Let's see the big boys. He had successfully kept it in, by the way. No, it doesn't matter if he lands outside, isn't it, Shody? Or actually, no, that's a bit of a. So they got line or scrum. What have we chosen here? I'll go with the scrum and see what the big boys can do. You're going for a scrum, yeah, people. We're about to see the fridge. Francois Herbert coming out here. He strikes me as a double quarter pounder kind of man, not quite a Happy Meal fanatic. I think I should actually have a Happy Meal sometime. Sharks, does anyone know how to connect to Ireland with NordVPN command line? Couldn't help you there, Chief. Sorry, McPhee spicy for me personally. My name is Rafi after all. No leave up, better not be choky when it comes to kicking today, says Vic. Well, not off to a good start, but plenty of time left. In terms of the weights, Ulster are significantly heavy, almost 40 kgs more. However, if there's one thing we know about scrums, technique. And Francois Herbert is a difficult bird. Look, that's a very solid scrum. They're not giving you an inch there. And they go down to the left with Marnie Liebach. Out to Leon Zas. And Zas is pulled out. That's really good. That's good defense by Balakoon, to be fair. Well, it's a very solid scrum. If we can have scrums like that the entire day, it'll be quite a nice attacking opportunity for them because it was very much available for Hershey Yankees. And neither side giving an inch. That was quite cool. You don't often see that, actually. Yeah, I'm Balakoon there, just making sure that he wins that first duel up against us, who's in some electric form at the moment. Burger King ahead of McDonald's. I haven't had Burger King in ages. Well, the mall is broken down there, and Cooney's going to have to work it. Comes away to rear, but it's really well defended there from Stormers to break up that mall. Now he rolls it back for the box kick, and he's got 3 players length worth of space, so no block is needed. Puts it high in the air. Balakoon is chasing hard. Good take there from Leon Zas, but a big tackle coming on him. Now Hirschlank is working down the left. First carry of the match for Evan Ruas. Second carry of the match, actually. Now, Marvin Ori. Oh, he smashed in the tackle there as Marvin Ori. It is available, though, for Hershey Yankees. Timoni Liebach to Murat. He spins away from Miriam, but is brought down. Now Yankees back to Khalan. Khalan sees a bit of space. Puts it to his left boot, and it's going to sit just ahead of Balakoon. It's a bit of a weird kick, but he does slip to Balakoon. Give it back to Billy Burns. Deep kicking out to Moni Liebach, who was retreating. He's pointing up, so he wants the Nuttler and the Buggers to chase. No, he decides to go himself. Not sure it's the right decision. He's very isolated. Sanatla and Ronaldo, and they've conceded a penalty. That is just poor decision making by Moni Liebach. He pointed for the kick, and they were ready for the kick, and then he decided to go himself, and he was completely isolated. They got all over him, and Ulster won a penalty. That was very, very sloppy. Just going to adjust our clock slightly so you can see it all. There's our timer. Look at that. I mean, how cool is that? And I'm not doing anything. I don't have to worry about pausing it. There's also one over there in the tracker, which is showing you where everything's happening. Happy, happy days, people. Steers 100 times better than both. Decent shout. Oh, well, that's a contested line out, and it's won by Stormers. So Dion Free now sees a bit of space. Trying to work out if he's had a haircut or it's just falling out. But definitely looks a bit different today, does Dion Free, for some reason. Marvin Ori, with the gap. I love it. But a big counter back coming in there from McCloskey. And in fact, he's actually won a turnover. And I think it's a penalty advantage. Or is it a knock-on? Dion Free in for the fight. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Not me. Not me. Oh, he's got a shiner as well. Does anyone remember that random Aussie rules final that took place in US Career Ground back in 2000? Yeah, unfortunately, I was about 4 years old then, so I don't remember. Sugar Whiskey. Midaish, y'all. Sad ExpressVPN, your RT link does not work with ExpressVPN. It was working for me yesterday. I tested it all again yesterday, so maybe just keep refreshing. Because, yeah, it worked for me yesterday. Blind pep spray, come on, Leebok, been looking for like a future block, no need for choking. That was poor from Leebok. Yeah, I think it was just I mean, you've done well to get back into a good position. Put it up in the air. Let Sinatla go and chase it. Yeah, look, I mean, I think that Dion Free is quite useful in a scrap, but Ian Henderson's quite a large lad. Like, I reckon he actually, I wouldn't want to be smacked by Ian Henderson. He also got that kind of look where, like, he doesn't look like the brightest spark. So, like, he doesn't look like a guy that when you smack him, he's actually even going to, like, respond. He might just look at you and, like, laugh at you. I think everywhere. I mean, that must be nothing worse. Imagine smacking somebody and they just laugh at you. And you're sort of going, okay, sorry, dude. Forget this happened. We'll go our separate ways here. Anyway, so it will be a scrum. It is a Stormers feed, though, so no harm lost. Very, very solid and available for Hershey Yankees once again. Goes flat to Monty Liebach. Goes to Ruan now. Ruan now gets up to the halfway line. Good carry from him. Quick ball needed. And comes from Hershey Yankees to Evan Russ. And Rio's up there quick to make the tackle. Hershey Yankees thought about going the blind side. And a bit of pressure. Monty Liebach goes to Watchalong. Oh, jeepers. What a read. He does manage to buy himself a time. It was a fantastic read there by James Hume. He came up very quickly, but the reason he was up so quickly apparently was offside. So it was a penalty for Stormers. I think that was actually just a very good good read, but we'll have to wait and see the replay. Dion Free, underrated flanker me things. Yeah, like I think he has his moments. He just pisses me off. Steven, you were 4,000, bloody hell. Hey, dude. I don't know what to say to that. I was born in 96. I'm 26 this in August. I am starting to feel old, to be fair. I'm approaching 30. But still have my peak ahead of me, I tell you. How are you over a minute ahead today? Listen, what can I don't know what to tell you, LB. We're just elite here at Forever Sports. I mean, we're actually ahead of the game. We're more ahead than they are. The referee asked me how much time has gone. We are technically, my clock over there is technically 3 seconds behind. Actually, now it's jumped to being ahead. And it stopped. Yeah, so we are bang on with what's going on. I see tries before they are even scored. Well, it's a good little move there. Hershey Yankees, Evan Russ on the charge. Evan Russ is over. Well, there it is. A bit of innovation. We saw it from the Bulls yesterday. It must be said, pretty ordinary defense. But Evan Russ is over. But Hershey Yankees deserves a lot of the plaudits there. What a nice little intermove between them. Couple of clean offloads. All of a sudden, Evan Russ down over the corner. Off the line, they break down the left. Bang, one to Hershey Yankees. Bang, inside from Evan Russ. And he's away. He's away. Nobody ahead of him. Green grass. What a start. What a start. It must be said. Yeah, it's an inside ball. It's so well played. Well, Hershey Yankees with a try assist. That's what we would like to see. Touch wood. Touch wood. I don't want to take away from Russia because he deserves all the applause for that try. Herschel Yankees is playing rugby again, ladies and gentlemen. He is playing rugby. Last weekend, I thought was the best game I'd seen all season. He's already got a try assist here. He's already looked nice and crisp with his passing. His box kick was pretty solid. He looks like the Herschel Yankees we keep waiting to see. Right, now money needs to come to the party. Money, money, lead back. Money, money, lead back. On the right hand side, it started very far to the right. It's going to go down the right. So that's 0 from 2 from Leibach so far. Well, I suppose if you're just going to keep scoring tries like this, then you don't need to worry about conversions. I mean, how reassuring is it to see... Oh, bit of a fumble there from Galant. He's got no hair, by the way. Obviously, must have been a... that's a nice clearance from him, though. That's a very good clearance. That's up to the halfway line. Not sure I'm digging the vibe here. Albi says, Stormers can win this. Just got to keep the aggression for the full 80 minutes. Why, the best number 8 in the world. So it's just Stormers keep this up, and it's definitely an All-South African final for sure. Brian says, great job. I'm not an Ulster fan, so I'm a neutral in this one. Enjoyable game. Your clock is wrong, by the way. It is not. I mean, it's a bit wrong. Yeah, I can't control it. It keeps adjusting, though, to be fair, so it'll probably catch up now. Do you think the fact we get 5 times the crowd of the European teams plays a factor? We get a lot more 5 if we could get if we're allowed to go up to capacity. Liverpool is choking. Yankees are too slow at the ruck. He won't make the box here. I mean, I think if he's played the last 2 games, he looked a lot better. So comments are 2 minutes ahead of commentary. Well, comments will all be. I mean, it depends on where you're watching. Are you watching on DSTV or satellite? Are you streaming it? If you are streaming, are you watching on an iPad? Are you watching on a PC? It'll all kind of impact where you guys are watching. So, I mean, even you guys will be a couple of seconds behind what I'm seeing when I'm seeing it. Fortunately, it's very different. So, the best thing I can recommend is to try and say, oh, there's so much space out wide. Bradley Coon's over! Well, how easy was that? How easy was that? They all think it's a forward pass, but goodness me, all of a sudden, Ulster are back here. And, I mean, Billy Burns threw a nice pass out there. And then they were asking for a forward pass. Oh, the Stormers faithful aren't happy with that. The pass was Stuart Moore to Balakoon. They immediately asked. Referee says he reckons it's flat. So unless the TMO can find evidence against that, it's going to stand. So Billy Burns went long to Stuart Moore. Well, I mean, it's direction of the hands, isn't it? And he literally throws and finishes with his hands back here. So you do kind of think that it's... I mean, you need to see a side angle. Yeah, on the side, and the referee on the side as well didn't call it, so... That was a very pissed off Stormers supporter. People make me laugh. Stormers win this, they'll make my whole week. Your whole week starting now. Who's the Ulster captain? Ian Henderson, as Jonathan get provided there. He slid. Oh, it's come off the upright. Well, it was an important kick that actually, because that would have brought them within 3. But all of a sudden, Ulster have half the gap, and it was just. I mean, it was pretty easy to be honest. Off the line out, and they just spread wide. And Galant probably guilty of being far too far infield. Allow Balakoon to get around him. Brian says, so I went Leinster versus Stormers, then Bulls versus Ulster, so there's a good chance it'll be Bulls Stormers. It's flat. Yeah, I think it's pretty flat. I don't think it's a bad call at all. Deep restart there down the middle to Stuart Moore. Good pressure there from Stephen Kitsov on Ian Henderson. You're not looking to kick yet. Still asking for a couple of phases here. He's asking Tom O'Toole to do some work. Tom O'Toole. Imagine your surname is O'Toole. Right, Cooney with a box kick. Plenty of time here for Liebach. Goes inside to Warwick Gelant. Gelant drifting a little bit. Gives it inside to Leland Zas. Zas brought down by McCloskey. Herschel to Kitsov. First receiver to Monty Liebach to Willemse. Willemse sees a bit of space in behind. Puts it to the boot. Trying to find that. And that's a brilliant kick. Brilliant kick from Damien Willemse. Well, he's pinned them back to about 10 meters from their trial line. That's the perfect intervention from him. He was over 50-22, but the play did originate from their own half, which is why it's not. So, obviously, his forward Shirley. Also, Stormers haven't had a good defense since Tutti. Yeah, so I guess it's going to be an Ulster and Bulls final. John said I got that with Firefox. He used to work with Chrome. Yeah, when I was testing ExpressVPN, I was with Chrome. So. Yeah, I mean, definitely worked for me. Oh, they've almost managed to turn that line around. JJ Kotzer was desperately trying to rip that ball. But I think penalty for not releasing against Dion Free. I don't know what Rocky has stuck in my head. Ah, see, Damon Lindy was at Milton versus Belleville this morning. Right. Ulster lineout. Rob Herring just controlling things at the back. Looking a bit more promising than the earlier one, which the Stormers did very well to break up. Cooney lifts it. Big chase coming in there from Ethan McElroy. There's a solid takeaway from Sanatla. And plenty of support there to make sure that they keep the ball. It is available for Hershey Yankees. Goes to Murat. Now Herschel asking for a blocker in the form of Dion Ferry. Listen high in the air. It's being chased by Sanatla. Sanatla's going to get up there. Well, it ends back to Stuart Moore. He's under a lot of pressure from Evan Ruiz, but the Ulster players do get back to help. Solid tackle there by Kitsov and Sanatla. But Steven Kitsov, I mean, little jackal there. The little jackal. I love it. He's so good at the breakdown. Such an underrated part of his game is Steven Kitsov. But bang, over that ball like a pie. And he ain't letting that go. So really good work there by Steven Kitsov, winning the penalty. Now Mangy will be able to get them back to the right areas. So that's what all these sort of playoff games are just about playing in the right areas. Scoreboard pressure, taking the opportunities in the right areas. Right, Marvin Ori calling the line out chair. Up towards 22. They go over the top, though, to Damien Willemse. Oh, cheapers. It's a nice little step inside. Quick ball there from Hershey Young to Steven Kitsov. Oh, that's actually really well played. It's a turnover ball, and somebody's managed to just reach his palms over and force a knock on there from Hershey Yankees. And then I think it's offside. So McCloskey, as part of the breakdown, reaches out, forces the knock on there from Hershey Yankees, and it'll be a scrum for Ulster. That's very good work there for McCloskey. About 20 seconds behind, just saw the steal. Well, what I recommend doing is pausing the YouTube video, and once your clock catches up, then press play, and then that'll be synchronized. Whatever I'm talking about, you'll be talking about. Although having said that, the clock that's on my screen at the moment keeps defaulting back to being like 50 seconds behind. So I'd say I'm 12 seconds. My TV is about 12 seconds ahead of that clock. So it gets a bit complicated, but we're working on it. We're working on it. It's a work in progress here, people. Right, scrum here for Ulster. 25 minutes in already. Time flies when you're having fun. Ball's up there. Stuart Moore brings up that left boot of his and pumps it downfield. Good take there from Gelant. Looking for some space. Looking to decide what he's going. Sees a bit of space down the middle. Decides to just chip it over the top. Cooney under a bit of pressure there from Mani Liebach. Gets away from him. Going a bit of a run. Gets away from Marvin Oye. Eventually brought down by Frans Mahova. Ball towards Billy Burns. Billy Burns wants to chip over the top himself. Bounces the ball. Comes back to Billy Burns. Oh, he's chipped it again. Has he got the pace? Has he got the pace? Well, Sanatla's reeled him in. Oh, and the offload. Well, Dion Ferrier has managed to jump onto it. What a bit of interplay there from Billy Burns. Was about to do it all himself. Didn't quite have the pace. Good tackle there by Sanatla. And the offload just coming off the body of Sanatla, I think it was. And then Dion Ferrier pounced on it very quickly. Well, that ball's bounced. And Dwayne Firmino came charging in to take it and then let the ball bounce. So it will be an Ulster line out. Came off off the kick from Hershey Yankees. Oh dear. Well, Billy Burns now seeing a bit of attention. But what a bit of play from the flower half. Chip over the top, bounce straight back towards him. Immediately put in another chip past the next one. Just didn't quite have the pace to go all the way. Well, Dion Ferrier's going off, I think, for an HIA here. Look at this from Billy the Burns. Billy the Burns gets in between the two players. Bang. Bang. Gets past Gelant. He's still going. He's got Sanatla cheering down him as well as Hershey Yankees. As it comes into his hands, he was trying the pop, which came off Sanatla. And then Dion Ferrier was there. If that pop had gone to hand, it was try time. And he gets an elbow to his face for good measure. So number Klaba is on. Jersey number 19. Also very, very good at the breakdown. But it is an Ulster lineout. So Rob Herring is going to go to Dwayne Vermeulen and then jump off the back there. Inside ball. It's a really good run. It's a very good angle being run there by McCluskey. Now Tom O'Toole carrying up towards 22. Coon deciding to go towards the left-hand side of the park. McCluskey's looking for options. Runs straight into Nama Klaba. Driven back as well. Good defense there. Now Ian Henderson. Here to Billy Burns. Out wide to Baker, who's got a lot of space. Comes inside. Gelant pops the ball over the top. Stuart Moore. Stuart Moore's got the pace. Wow, Badikoon with the offload over the top. Stormers defense nowhere. Ulster all of a sudden are level terms with Stormers after 27 minutes. Yeah, I mean, the Stormers' defense there was in tatters. I mean, the long ball over the top, and he steps into inside Warwick far too easily. Elon Zass has then come across to make the tackle, as is Ruan now, which left the man unmarked on the inside. And Stuart Moore has strolled over without anybody going anywhere near him. And all of a sudden, despite Stormers having started much better in the first 20 minutes, John Cooney has a kick here to put Ulster in the lead, actually. Yeah, straight down the middle. Well, Ulster 12, Stormers 10 after almost half an hour. In many ways, two tries almost against the run of play. This one, really, I mean, we're just sitting there watching a little bit. All of a sudden, bang. That offload from Battlefield was so good. And Clubber is never going to win the foot race with Stuart Moore. Grant Swart saying that try came out of nowhere. Jonathan saying this has been two great semi-finals. Yeah, they're enjoyable. They're nice and close. And also, we're seeing 4 tries already in this game. We saw 7 tries last night, or I think was it 7 or even more than 7. We don't often see lots of tries being scored in playoff games. They're usually much tighter. So quite a nice spectacle we've got going here. Showed more of the try scorer off the kickoff there. Tommy Tula creating that angle. I don't know if they got the set to 22. It almost like they were out of it. So I don't know if John Cooney can go and straight into touch. But a big counter right coming in for St. Ormers. Well, the ball's out. The ball's falling away to Nick Timoney. Well, Khalat not able to gather it. But luckily for Stormers, there was another knock-on from an Ulster player. Straight from Björn of all people, actually. Wasn't the best best attempt in the air there from Warwick Lunt. Right, so it will be a Stormers scrum to really move into the final 10 minutes of the half. It's available for Hershey Yankees. Goes to Mine Liebach. Goes to Willemse. Willemse puts the kick in. And Moore decides to mark it. Probably the right idea to slow it down a little bit, get a couple people back. Wasn't the best kick from David, so it was a bit wasteful, to be honest. Allows Ulster to get back. Stuart Moore now pumping that downfield. Gathered by Dane Willemse. Mine Liebach puts to the sky, and this time does put it in the air. Willemse is chasing hard. And he smashes Stuart Moore. And a lot of Stormers players are arriving, and it's a big counter-attack coming. But they do use it. It's not enough quickly to put a lot of pressure on, I think that's Ria. It's a good line speed here from Stormers. Now Cooney's just trying to slow things down a bit. He lifts it with a couple of chases, including McElroy. McElroy slips. It falls to Salman Murat. No knock-on advantage or anything like that. It's available for Hershey Yankees. Just slowing the ball down here. Asking for a blocker. I think he's going to put this in the air. Ball is out. That's really well played. Well, the call came, ball is out, and Hershey Yankees guilty of not using the ball. And Ulster players have come flying through and forced and caused and won themselves a penalty action. That's just good appreciation to the laws. Hershey Yankees had so much time to take their kick. I don't know what he was waiting for. What? And now he's just turned the penalty around for Stormers. That's a bit weird. Because he called that the ball is out, and then they went through, and now he's penalised Ulster. Right, well, anyways, Stormers penalty, and Mine Liebach has put it in the corner, so Stormers will have a 5-meter line. If they can get that rolling more right once again, this is the perfect taking opportunity. I think it's a tough call. They're saying that they took out the player, not the ball, but Hershey Yankees got both hands on the ball. So I mean, so the question is the ball up or not? So it probably wasn't, but I'd feel a little bit aggrieved. Leon Zass was walking off, by the way, and got him a Simmers on. Well, JJ Costa does find his man, but it's a massive counter more so far for Ulster. Once is the core, and it's being driven back here. Still going back here. They're going to have to use it here. But all of a sudden, now they've managed to find a bit more structure and a bit of go-forward ball, but they're going to have to use it. It is available to Hershey Yankees, who goes to Evan Ruiz, wrapped up by McCloskey and Billy Burns. Chiva Daimani, wrapped up by Henderson. Herschel to Ruanel. Ruanel just has come back on the angle. Big hit in there from Tom O'Toole. Now Daimani once again. Try to step to the left and then on the wrong foot and gets hit back. Newbold looking for a couple of runners. Gets to Dave Willems, so he decides to go on the other side. Dave Willems looking for a space. Decides to step inside. Spins away from one. Herschel to Wargeland. Nowhere through for the Stormers just yet. Daimani, good hands there to JJ Kotzer, but he leaves the ball behind, and Dwayne Vermeulen has gone pivoting over the top and just managed to snatch that ball. Turnover ball here. John Cooney goes back to Billy Burns. And Burns does find touch. Not the best touch find, it's just outside of 22, so still a nice tackling opportunity here for Stormers. Grazwas, that was Marvin Ori's fault. Herschel asked him to join the ruck for more protection. I'm telling you, Yankees are slow at the ruck. Hershey Yankees are sleeping. Yankees is useless. I mean, it's funny how the guy's got to try assist. Nobody says anything. Then as soon as he makes a mistake, which they actually got a penalty, now everyone's going after the poor lad. Evan Ruiz, it's a really good angle that he's run. Herschel flat ball to Namaklaba. Leibach skips a couple of players. Ronaldo decides to go out. I don't think it was actually intended for him. Herschel goes to Herbert first. Leibach going to Billemso. Oh, well, good hands from Daimani. It went straight through the hands of Evan Ruiz. Got him a similar inside. Doesn't quite have the physical presence Leon Zass has. Now Sal Murat trying to get over the gain line. Evan Ruiz now. Big tackle on him. Flat there, nice front foot ball there for Willem, so he's fighting really hard to find a bit of game line advantage. He does find, pops it up for Marvin Ori. They're making progress here, Stormers. Yankees, long pass out to Monty Leibach. Leibach trying to step inside, pops the ball up to nobody. Evan Ruiz there to try and clean up. A little momentum being lost there from Stormers. Kalan gives it away to Ruan Null. Ball pops out. Herschel gives it to Sal Murat. And just sort of all becoming a little bit flustered at the moment, so for Stormers. They just need a bit of a ruck and a bit more structure back into their attack. The Yankees got Ruiz. He decides to go behind to Mine Leibach. Leibach reckons the drop kicks on. And he's missed it. I mean, that seems like a bit of a waste. I mean, I know not much was happening, but that's a bit of a waste of Mine Leibach. I mean, at the very least, if he had waited for one more phase, he would have been right behind the poles. I mean, he probably should have slotted it anyway. Well, Leon Zass very much looks like his day is over. And Ulster player down here as well, getting some attention. Bum, 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 bum. I don't know if this was good defense. Stormers need to calm it down. How are we sitting on our subscriber base? Apparently sitting on 10,851 people. We need to get past 11,000. Like it's poor to be sitting on, still be in the 10,000s at the moment. We've been there for months. We've got to move to that 11,000 mark. So if you are watching and you have not subscribed, I want to start seeing that subscriber button go up. So they're having a look at the URC here to see if Galant has committed some foul play. Doesn't sound like it though. Ole! Hubert says Leibach will be so good if he could kick. Grant Sparks is not sure what's going on with Leibach today. He's making really poor decisions. Marvin Ori under the restart there. Pretty solid from him. But what a penalty being won there by Marcus Rea. He was so quick to get his hands on the ball there. Franz Mahova probably guilty of not getting rid of him, but it's a very strong penalty won there by Ulster. All of a sudden, it's the last 2 minutes. Ulster have an opportunity to kick themselves into Stormers territory. And if they can find a penalty or find some points, then they'll be going into the half well on top. Obviously, no ideas attack. Where's the structure? Yeah, good point. It's a good point. Well, Birds is kicked to 22, so I'll still have a line on the 22 with another minute and 20 seconds left in the first half. Right, first things first, it's a bit of a messy line, and Marvin Ori comes away with it, actually. Well, it's a bit of a missed opportunity there, but a penalty. Jumping across the line is the call, so it's a penalty. Now, this is decision time. One will actually take the points here. But with a minute to go, I would be tempted to go for the line. What are they going to do here? Yeah, they're going to take a shot, I think. Yeah, they will have a shot. They're learning from Leinster. Penalties against for jumping across, which, yeah, I think is probably justified. I think the initial jump is fine, but where he eventually lands up, I mean, he's almost landing on the Ulster side. So if Cooney doesn't land this, and one imagines it would, then Ulster would suddenly go to halftime with a 5-point lead. And Stormers, yeah, I think after a very good start, just have lacked a little bit of structure and direction. I think just need to go back to basics, go back to what they were doing in the first 15 minutes. Right, Cooney from the left-hand side of the park. Yeah, has no issues. Turns immediately. It just curls to the left-hand side between the two poles. And Ulster will go into half-time with 5-point advantage over Stormers, who will be frustrated because they had the opportunity, but they just lacked a little bit of structure in the final sort of 15 to 20 minutes. So a couple of words the dressing room probably merited. And a big second half needed from the home side. But a bit like last night, the away side leading at half-time. Big 40 minutes ahead. One of these teams will be going home, whether it be down the road for Stormers or back up to Ireland for Ulster. Well, they'll be going home back to Ireland either way, because they will go for a home final if Ulster do win it. But yeah, for the Stormers, they need to find some points in the second half. We'll be back very shortly. Please don't go away. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Yeah, 76 likes. So let's see if you can get us up to 100 likes by the time I get back. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hello. We're back. Sorry, and we have kicked off, by the way. So I was just rushing back to get back here. So halftime score was 10 points to 15. Stormers are down. They'll need a big second half if they are to go to the URC final. In fact, if they're going to host the URC final, that's the thing. They're playing for a home. Both these teams playing for a home final. Good take there from Watchalong. But a penalty for going off his feet against Damian Willemse. And he's protesting his innocence. Referee's having none of that. So not a particularly good start. Lakesh says 2 missed conversions really costly. Ulster first try looked like a forward pass, but they were putting Stormers under huge pressure. He says you're going to do Bulldogs cheaters just to show how proud you are of them. No, I'm not, unfortunately. So yeah, I've got meetings. I'm literally doing all this stuff between meetings and dinners, and I've got the most hectic weekend, and I barely had time to do anything. So yeah, unfortunately, won't be doing the Bulls game, but next weekend we will be doing all the Curry Cup. Anyway, Billy Burns off the back of the line out. Nick Timony carrying up there. The last thing Stormers need is to let Ulster score first. Ulster score first. Well, having said that, it's a knock on there, and it will be a scrum. Tom O'Toole, I think it was Chiba Armani there who decided to rip it off there. Makesha is Dwayne having a good game. Yeah, so it'll be a scrum there, so that's not a bad. Dwayne, I would say Dwayne's sorry, he did knock the ball on. I'm trying to think of his contribution, stuff like that. And the thing with Dwayne Vermeulen is that he's usually just very solid, and a lot of what he does often goes unnoticed. So, but for me, it's just good to see he doesn't knock off the pace. He looks pretty fit. That's kind of what we need to see from our incumbent number 8, don't we? Baby, we built this world of memories. You're still not over 100 likes, people, so you kind of actually let me down, to be honest. I thought that we were going to get back up there. 12 people need to like it, and we're over 100 likes for the video. So if you guys can just quickly sort that out while they're busy doing this reset scrum, that would be much appreciated. Let's just sort out the formalities, and then we can get into the half. As you can see, that's where the scrum is, although it's technically actually opposite. It's actually like the other side there, but this scoreboard doesn't rotate. And it is actually a bit more central than that, I reckon. Right, scrum here. Reset. Yankees. Pretty solid. It's pretty solid. It's going to be available for him at the back. Now the question is, are we booting it? Is he going straight to Liebach? Goes to Liebach. He's still pretty flat. Sees a bit of space down the left-hand side. Straight down the throat of Rob Bialkoen. Who gets away from a similar. Right, now inside ball to rear. Hume not held there, so Cooney gives to O'Toole. The first receiver gives to Billy Burns. Boys and women, an overlap, but Stuart Moore sees a bit of space. And that's a horrible kick from Stuart Moore. The kick was definitely on. But, I mean, he's just absolutely launched that in his touch. Oh, this doesn't look good for Bialkoen at all. He's down and looks like a lot of pain. I think this is going to be the end of his game. He's looked good. Whenever he's had the ball, has Rob Bialkoen. He's looked really bright this afternoon. But he doesn't look happy at all. Grant says, Stephen, you get those likes if you wear Stormers jersey. I know you're a secret Stormers fan. Mate, I'm like the furthest thing away from a Stormers fan. Impossible. Like, ugh. Oh, dear. Yeah, I mean, you can see he's grabbing his side even before he makes that run. Yeah, yeah, as he takes that step to Bialkoen, you can see he just does something. Still manages to dust God looking similar, so that must be a bit depressing when the guy injures himself in front of you and still just back. Cheers, boy. See you later. Also won 11 of their previous 13 URC matches this season when leading at half time. Well, that's not a A promising stat for Stormers fans, a very encouraging stat for Ulster fans. Will be a Stormers line out up towards the halfway line. Basically on the halfway line. JJ Kotz has been pretty solid so far in the last 2 games in the infamous line out work. Goes to Marvin Ori, well taken there. Gonna try to get a rolling more going there. And they're off to a bit of a run so far. Already found a couple of meters. JJ Kotz is just controlling things. More stop just for the 10-meter line. So they've already gained 10 meters. Young gives to Wayne Lever, gives to Devillenso on the angle, giving it to Snatler, who's wrapping around. Snatler's still going. He's lost the ball forward. Ball comes loose. Stuart Moore tosses it back to Billy Burns. He launched it downfield, so Warwick Holland is backpedaling. Bounces up nicely forward, gives it inside to Monty Liebach over his shoulder. So Liebach's on the run. Yeah, he's got Diamoni on the outside. Diamoni's got a lot of pace. Cuts inside and runs straight into Tom O'Toole, who stops him in his tracks. Phillips the inside ball to Ruan now. Ruan now looking for the option. Right. Marcus Ria under a bit of pressure there. So Johan Cooney, I'm sure, is going to just launch it back into the Stormers' half. Holland solid under the high ball there, being held up though. This is available for Hershey Yankees though. Evan Rose puts his head down, almost up to the halfway line. Martin Levi's launched down, and Stuart Moore has once again decided to mark it, to slow things down. Neil Ackers, what's going on now with chats? You only see a few chats. Well, I just glanced down, to be honest, and there's a lot of chats going on there. Sometimes I will miss them. So if you've got something really important to say, you can send a super chat, because I'll definitely see that. But yeah, unfortunately, sometimes I just do miss chats. Neil Ackers back to Stormers. Time and Tench said, I thought Moody was brilliant defense last night. I agree. Martin saying, come on, Stormers. Come on, let's be on the finals next Saturday. Come on, boys. And Rob Balakoon is off, I think. I'm surprised he was still on, to be honest. So the youngster, Ben Moxon, will come on in the park. Maybe we built this road. So from the mark, they found touch halfway between the 22 and the 10-meter line. So it will be a Stormers line out in a pretty promising position. They go over to Marvin, or he almost fumbles it, but eventually manages to bring down solid line in the end. Taking a while, but eventually starting to get a bit of go forward ball. Diamoni has WWE slammed Rob Herring down. It is available for Herschel Yankees. Yankees decides to go down the right side. Well, Moxham's first in the contribution to tackle on Diamoni. Now Stephen Kitsoff in a bit of a space ahead of him, joined by France Maherba, looking for the offload off the ground, as all world-class players do. Herschel Yankees to Monty Lever flat to Evan Lewis, but he was so busy trying to get to the gap, he actually left the ball behind. Knock on advantage. And the ball is launched downfield, was out in the full, so we'll go back for a scrum. Really poor from Evan Lewis there. So, as I said, so busy looking at the gap and trying to get through it that he forgot to come and catch the ball. Martin said that Monty Lever should have hit those 2 conversions over. I mean, yeah, talk about ours are away from the ball. Fuzzy Hendricks backing Stormers. Bend over. I mean, yeah. Not quite sure what you're on about, Chief. Grant Swart saying, what was that kick, Leibok? Yeah, I think Leibok's decision-making today has left a lot to be desired. Which is pretty because he's had a tremendous season, but today it hasn't quite been at his best. Burns, that's a really, really good line being run. Good pick up by Burns as well. Cooney decides to put the box through, and the similar is backtracking. He throws it back inside, and Kalant has to bundle it out. So it will be an Ulster line out right on the 5 meter. What a counter attack. Fantastic line being run there by McCluskey. Good inside ball to Billy Burns. Really good support play from John Cooney as well. They decide to go to the right and just bang. I mean, we were now. It's absolutely nowhere there. So Dion Freed as well to bring in his defender. Look, the scramble defense is decent, but it's under so much pressure. And similar what's come off him last. It's a great little kick in by Cooney. The ball's just standing up there. Ben Moxham is breathing down the neck of Masimla. So it's an Ulster line about 10 meters out. Right, they do have a more set up here after Henderson took the line out. Rob Herring controlling things. It sort of splinters towards the right-hand side. He does break away, does Rob Herring. They have to roll away, though, because... No, it's a turnover ball. I mean, that's almost a bit harsh, because I wouldn't say that was still the more. I would say that he had broken off it. So he breaks off the maul, in which case they technically have to roll away. Graham says Stormers earning the tag choke as well. I just turned over the ball, but unfortunately they need to score some points as well. Brian says throwing a few stakes on the Barbie as I'm listening to this. We can't call it a Barbie though, can we? We can't let him get away with that. I could do a bri. I'm like a list for a bri. To be fair, tomorrow I'm spending the entire day on the side of a cricket field. I'm watching my old man play in a veterans league of over 40s. It's good fun actually. A lot of hamstrings going in that league. And I'm going to have a bacon roll in the morning. I'm going to have a borscht roll in the afternoon. I'm just going to watch cricket all day. It's going to be flippin' phenomenal. Maybe we'll even stream it on Forever Sports and the guys can come watch it with me. You never know. I mean, Dion Free, as usual, looking like he's been 45 rounds with Mike Tyson. If you'd like to support the channel, though, by the way, you can become part of the Members Club. It's the pinned comment there. You can join the Members Club. It's a monthly subscription. It really does help us out. All the money that you put in, that thing goes straight back into the channel. That's how we can afford nice things like getting our studios redone, getting the data feed and stuff like that. So it's all reinvested back into the channel. So if you would like to contribute towards the channel, that's a way you can really support us. Apart from that, you know, like super chat stuff like that are also really cool. But obviously no expectation. Everything on Forever Sports is free. It always will be. Yeah, I mean, but we'll look at maybe looking at members only streams in terms of being able to comment and stuff like that, and we have conversations to give members a little bit of a different offering. But yeah, so if you'd like to support the channel, you can become a member of the Forever Sports Members Club. Just the 10 penalties in the whole game. 6 conceded by the Stormers, 4 only by Ulster. Right, but a messy line there from Ulster. And JJ Kotter's almost jumped on it, but John Cooney has got the ball in hand. Trying to clean up a little bit, sees a bit of space, puts in the kick in behind. Well, advantage over. That's a really nice kick. If it wasn't for the line up in the half, they would have actually been 50-22. That's a brilliant kick. Yeah, that final touch there just inside the half's wide. It wasn't a 22. Right, so I'd say there's still 30 minutes left. Yeah, still a long way to go. That will be a loss for Ulster. Right, JJ Kotzer, big clutch line out here. They go to Murat, very well done. Yankees goes to Liebok. Liebok's kick is charged down, falls straight into the hands of Billy Burns. That's not a particularly good moment. And unfortunately, Monty Liebok really struggling today. And when your fly half really has an off day, it really doesn't back the entire team. Oh, they've got numbers here as James Hume puts his head down. Ulster on the front foot here. Andrew Warwick. Big hit on him. Marcus Rear. Klosky, Billy Burns. Oh, good hands. Stuart Moore looking for the offload. Does get away. No, sorry, and that's Stuart Moore. Marks some cuts inside. He's wrapped up by Damien Willems. So that's a very important intervention. They had some numbers and good slick handling there. Billy Burns on the top. It's a good ball there. McCloskey, long ball out for James Hume. He shoves Sanatla to the ground, but Dion Faree's there to make the tackle. They're up within 5 meters. Tom O'Toole, big tackle on him, but this is really good from Ulster. Andrew Warwick now comes up 2 meters short. Oh, there's hands in there. It's going to be a penalty, I'm sure. Yeah, it is a penalty. Warwick Haland can't believe it, but the referee did say, and I quote, "No hands!" And he just decided to grab it. Get the old Macri on the channel. I'm quite tempted to, you know. At the very least, we'll share. I might be playing on Thursday. Maybe we'll live stream my game. But it's quite lekker watching the 40-year-old buggers all running around a cricket field. What the hell is his necklace? Martin's saying that Liebok's his nerves are getting the better of him. Although letting Damien Willems kick, that's I mean, no offense to Damien Willems, but it's a dark day if you need Damien Willems to jump in with the goal kicking because he's not a particularly good goal kicker. The question is, when are we going to hit? Are we going to hit 11,000? I reckon we're going to hit 11,000 this month. We need 150 people to subscribe, and we've hit 11,000 subscribers. So I reckon we can get there this month. There are definitely a lot of people watching this right now who aren't subscribed. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Well, Rob Herring has lost the ball forward. He almost broke off, and the Stormers were really good defense there because I thought he was sending it all the way. And if that had gone over, that could have been game over. But he has knocked it on. It will be a scrum. Good tackle by Sanatla. Darmani's so busy complaining to the referee, he hasn't noticed what's going on. Yeah, it's very good defense there by Sanatla. He doesn't make that tackle. Rob Herring is in. And suddenly you're looking at a 10-point advantage with 24 minutes to go. Axe is agreeing with Martins. Graham's saying they're not even looking threatening, so stand by what I say. Sasha can kick. Well, but yes, coming to the park first, to be fair. Grant's about saying Liebok is having a shocker today. Yeah, he's definitely not doing his block chances a lot of good. The last thing you need to do is kind of like have that really bad off day when it counts the most. Well, under pressure there, Damien Willems for getting a few meters. Very well, so actually. Marnie finding a bit of space as well. They're getting a bit further up the park. Now Yankees goes to the boot, but doesn't find touch. Snutler's chasing hard, but he does very well there. And I think it will be an Ulster line out. McElroy throwing the pass in. I think it came with Damien Willems. Does well to get away from... Yeah, it's not... Comes off the forearm of Damien Willemse, then goes out. Well, Damien Willemse certainly doesn't look like he's carrying an injury, does he? Which is really good news for the Springboks. So an Ulster line out. The biggest problem with Storm is they kind of need to get the ball, their hand on the ball. I mean, the possession in the last 10 minutes must be about 90-5. 95-5. Well, we've had 100 likes, so I appreciate you people. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good graft. Where's my amount of subscribers? The live subscriber count, because it takes a while for the one on the screen to update. It is actually about right. 10,856. So 144 people subscribe right now, and we're 11,000. Talking about the Geland steal, yeah, I think it probably was a bit harsh. Doesn't matter in the end, really, because we have... they did knock it on, or I suppose the argument would be that they would have been able to kick and had the put into the line out. But anyway, it is an Ulster scrum by halfway line, and Stormers need to somehow get their hands on this ball, otherwise they're going to be dead in the water. Inside ball there, a couple of players. Oh, that's really good defense there. And Stuart Moore's having to retreat back under a lot of pressure from Ruan now. Advantage knock-on is the call. Cooney puts in the kick. This is to bounce, but it's well taken by Kalante, who was backtracking. He's got Sinatla on the inside. He decides to throw a long pass out to Monty Leebox in the middle. Monty Leebox put his head down, he sees a bit of space. Gives it away to Dion Free. Dion Free straight down the middle, gives it to Damien Willemse. Oh, that could be a bit forward. Herschel Yankees is going. And we're going to bring it back. I did say it looked a bit forward. Yeah. All these guys are still playing. Meanwhile, the referee's sitting about 20 years behind them, but it's definitely forward. I don't know why. I mean, people, you can shout at the referee all you want, but the final offload to Herschel Yankees was definitely forward. It's great piece of interplay here. So, boom. Dion Free gets away from one, gives it to Willemse, and he just loses the ball forward. It's the right call. But Armani just step on the Ulster hooker's head. Yeah, I also didn't wonder about that. It came very close. Right, you leave a shirt on the park for France Maherbe. Maherbe. The fridge. Imagine having a drinking session with like France Maherbe, Wilco Low, and like Carly Sardi. I would probably die. They would probably put me in a coma because they'd all rock up with like 2 massive bottles of brandy. So I used to play cricket with a guy who must have been about 150 kgs. Huge guy. He used to be called him Tiny. And he once rocked up, and between him and 2 other guys, they rocked up with 2 bottles of Cliff Drift to watch an afternoon cricket match at like 2:30. By 4 o'clock, both those bottles of brandy were dusted, and these guys were still chilling. It actually like scared me how aggressively some people can drink in this world. And I reckon France Maherbe is one of those people. He probably doesn't even like that Cliff Drip doesn't even go into ice. There's no Coke involved. He like sips it like an energy bottle. We're going off to Stormers. Jonathan saying these stopping players are really helping out the Ulster team. Stormers need to speed things up. I agree. Ulster defense is well organized. I also agree. What we're seeing quite at the moment is some very good, well coached sides, which I suppose is what you expect in the sort of the final 4. But yeah, Billy Burns, they're going to Stuart Moore, try to straighten, but it's good defense there by Ruan now and Damien Willemse. Willemse is now all over that ball and winning a penalty. Damien Willemse, look what it means to him. That's the second penalty he's won at the breakdown, by the way. I tell you what, put him on the flank. Damien Willemse could be a specialist fetcher at this rate. Astronaut fetcher. Bang. Over he goes. 2 players on him. Nope, you're not moving me. That's really well done, by the way. Not the best kick, but they will have it on the 22. So they are inside Ulster territory. And look, a converted try and they're in the lead. That is tremendous work from Damien Willemse. Stormers conceded 7 penalties so far to Ulster's 5. How many kicks did Liverpool miss? He's missed 2 conversions as well as a drop goal attempt. So 3 if you include the drop goal. I don't know if they do include that. I mean, I'm obviously in kicking stats, but I suppose that is something that doesn't really go against your name. So technically 2, but 3 if you include the drop goal attempt, which I think you should include because it was a possession that they gave away at the end of the day. You are now almost held up there, by the way. Hershey Yankees giving it flat to Daimani. Advantage, I think, for offside. So free roll of the dice here for Stormers. Yeah, I think Hershey Yankees are trying to book Henderson into the yellow card there. I think he's milked at that interaction. The offside's against Nick Timoney, so it wasn't against Ian Henderson anyway. I hope I don't run into any Stormers fans after this game. Well, they're not taking the points. Not sure that's the right decision. You know, there's 17 minutes left. That's a really good touch finder, but you're bang in front of the poles. 17 minutes left, 5 points. Yeah, I did wonder. He's done. He's kicked it dead. He's kicked it dead. Oh my goodness. Marnie Liebach. He's kicked it dead. Yeah, Marnie Liebach's had an absolute shocker. He's missed 4 points. Missed the drop goal. They turned down points right in front, by the way. And now Marnie Liebach has kicked it dead. Yeah. And funny enough, I mean, it's shame because I mean he's the competition's leading point scorer, but the sad part is he'll probably be remembered for this performance rather than the other brilliant ones. It's a good scrum there from Stormers, but it does come away to Billy Burns. He's played well today. Had some very good moments from Billy Burns. And John Cooney's kicked brilliantly off the tee. Warwick Halan, can he conjure up something? Well, Simna was coming at pace, but well, it's a lot. Well, cheapest the ball's everywhere, and Basimla's. I think it's Hershey Yankees just grabbed it whilst on the ground. So Warwick Halan operating at scrum half. Salman Murat on the halfway line. Now Hershey Yankees to Marnie Liebach. Marnie Liebach just. I don't understand this. He's done. How many times do you need to do it? He's just kicked it straight down the middle, and Ulster, with 15 minutes to go, are just. See the fans are asking the right question. You can see the fan literally saying, "Why is he kicking it? What is he doing? Why?" Because they're just marking it and running down the clock. It's game management. They're 5 points ahead. Why would they not just mark it and say, "Well, we've got plenty of time here. What's the rush?" QRKC, I say, can you just take him off the field? So Rinswald says, Marnie Liebach went from hero to 0. Agreed. It's the new bionic arm from Villain said become a turnover machine. Genuinely, I want to know what's under that strapping because it does look a bit dodgy. Captain Crunch says, do Stormers even have a replacement fly half? Well, Sasha Ngomazulu is a fly half. Whether you're going to back him at this stage, at 20 years old, and it's just to say, oh, he's let it bounce there. It's fallen to Daimani. Well, that's a really bad moment from McElroy. Kitsov's going on a run here. Hershey Yankees to Warwick Land to Damien Willemse. Looking for the offload. Eventually gives it to Snutler. Comes inside. Gives it away to Ruan Nell. 5 meters up. Yankees to Netley Bashir. Desperate defense here for Ulster. Warwick Land goes himself. Almost through. Hershey Yankees goes to Marvin Ori. Marvin Ori goes himself. The ball comes loose, but it's a penalty for Stormers. No release is the call. Do you go for a scrum here? Do you go for the line out? I mean, hopefully you don't kick it again. But if you're taking the 3 earlier, Not to say that you would have gotten back here, but if you had taken the 3 earlier and you were back down here, you could take another 3 and you'd be in the lead. Do people not watch last night? Scrum. They're going to go for the scrum. I mean, it's not the worst option because the scrum has looked very good, but you got to take the points. Right, well, here comes Andre Hugo Fenter. Here comes RJ Smith, the head of Marvin Ori. Nama Klaba on as well for Dion Ferree. So a couple of fresh legs for the scrum. Big scrum you need from the Stormers. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. They're trying to get a second shove in, but they're telling him to use it. Yoshianki decides to go out the back door to Watchalong. They go flat to Moni Liebach. So it's not clean ball, but they do still have it. Yankees looking for his options. Decides to go to the right to RJ Smith, who's sporting a horrendous haircut. Straight out the outback, that's what it is. And a penalty to Ulster. That's Dwayne Vermeulen, the master. But 6 points. 6 points you just turned down. And you're trailing by 5. And some people sit there, but you know, the momentum. I don't give a shit about momentum. They need points. It's been scoreless in the second half. Get the points board going. Graham says, tapping scrum his arm when he picks up the ball from the ruck should be a penalty. If teams keep doing it, it'll kill attacking play. Money almost as bad as Alton. Just don't kill me. Alton wouldn't have missed these kicks. You mad? Jacques saying Liebach is another flock. Should have taken the 3. I would have backed Sasha given I played in the quarterfinals. They definitely didn't learn from last night. Have to take the 3, says Jonathan, and I agree. You've turned down 6 points when you're 5 points behind. Taking the 3, you'll be 2 points behind. Any penalty inside your own half, you get. I mean, it's playoff rugby here, people. I think Billy Burrs might be suffering from a bit of cramp there. He pulled up a bit after that kick. He's been very good tonight. I mean, Dwayne Vermeulen's so good. I mean, he's got 2 players. It's Solomon Murat and Ruan now trying to get him off that ball, and he's just not having it at all. Grant says, take 3, please. And says, please explain why Liebach is still on the field. Partly because the replacement is a 20-year-old. But you tend to agree, you know. Put Sashim Gomezulu in at inside center. RJ Smith, I would keep your hands very away from Ian Henderson's face, considering the fact that you were banned and then re-sanctioned, well, reinstated for eye gouging. Right, Ulster with possession inside their own half. Now Cooney looking to launch it deep. Big tester there for Colin Cinnamon. It has bounced. And it will be a Stormers put in just inside Ulster's half. People says brain dead decisions. Adam saying Liebach is a joke, and to see people saying should be Bach is more of a joke. Well, to be fair to him, he has played very well this season, but he's not had a good time today at all. 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go. 5. I mean, there's no point in the second half yet, eh? I did say inexperience the factor in the loss. Yeah, I think to a certain degree. I think they have been a little bit naive over the Stormers. They haven't played particularly well. Defense has been impressive because I think Ulster have definitely been the dominant side. But look at RJ Smith here. He's got his arms around Ian Henderson there. And his hand keeps going towards Ian Henderson's face. I mean, he's literally been charged for eye gouging before. That doesn't look good from RJ Smith. I said so at the time. I said that looked really dodgy. We've got a close in here. So RJ Smith's hand is right around Ian Henderson. That's not lacquer, eh? I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, what is he trying to do with his hand there? It's 19, Chief. I can tell you right now for free. It's 19. His name's RJ Smith, and he's literally been banned. And then they had to, like, relook and stuff like that for eye gouging before. It's going to be a red card, you know? Yeah, and I actually, I've got no sympathy. I've got absolutely no sympathy for him. Yeah, it's a red card for I mean, what an absolute idiot. No, yeah, the card. We need to get a red card going now. I don't think you can have any complaints about that because it's just like why is your hand there? Why? There's no reason. There's no need for your hand to be there. So he won't play any more rugby. Even if they were to win this game, he's done. But you just gotta think, that's just stupid. Right, well, there we go. Red card to the Stormers. They're down to 14 for the remainder of the game. More importantly, Ulster have now kicked themselves into Stormers territory. Ian Henderson, the man who was the victim of the eye gouging. Billy Burns saw you following a half gap, brought down by Andrew Hugo Fenter. Vic was saying the decision making from Kitsov has been so lacquer today. Adams is pathetic. Stephanie saying Stormers are not going to the finals unless they score. Try soon. Hooper says just handing the game to these Oaks. I mean, quite literally. A damn third cigarette in 6 minutes. Flip me smokers, eh? Stupid play by the highest order. There's just no need. There's absolutely no need. I mean, what was he trying to do? Ian Henderson was not impacting and influencing play whatsoever. There's absolutely no need to even begin to touch him. So why put your hand in that area? It's just dumb. Well, they've missed Wayne from in there, but oh, that's a big clash between James Hume and Gordon Masimla. So Ulster have gone back towards the halfway line. So John Cooley just puts a bit of a kick in behind. Ursha Yankees gives it to Warwick-Land. As I said, it's about field position now. What can Warwick-Land counter up? He's got Sinatla on the outside. He's released Sinatla on the outside. John Cooley's kicked it over. Sinatla's going to go himself. But Stuart Moore is there and a lot of pressure. Warwick-Land makes the tackle. It is available for Ulster. Stormers players complaining about sealing off. Well, Ulster right back in their 5 meter. But they scrambled well. And the Lions quickly taken quickly by Damian Vincent. Damian Vincent trying to find a bit of space. It is opening up. Damian Vincent is almost away from James Humes. Eventually been rattled in back into the 22. Good run there by the Stormers inside centre. Darmani now at scrum half gives it to Murat, who was pretty flat-footed. First anxious to Moni Liebach. Liebach's caught on the ball by Ian Henderson, who's actually come away with the ball, but it's a penalty. Ian Henderson doesn't agree. Now they can't take the points because now it's too late. Once again, nine kickable points. They could have been well in the lead here. And now what do you do? Obviously, much as I'd like to hate on refs, but this ref's made a lot of questionable calls today. I think that some of them have been a bit questionable. I think the red card is a gimme. I mean, don't make a decision. I was saying, seriously, the powers that be in Europe can't have two SC teams in the islands, so the result would have always been gone Europe's way. Mega Man says that both teams' game management is shocking. They're both afraid to win. Not a bad shout, actually. Gradswaz Riggers tear up his contract. It's just moronic. Moronic is the only word I can. Right, so Ernst Rain's gone onto the park. Right, well, can the Stormers down to 14 men actually score a try and burgle this victory, really? Because they've been scared, as somebody said, they've been scared to win it. Ernst van Ryn's first contribution is to take that, but it's a very big defense here coming from Ulster. Use it once as the call. Dwayne Vermeulen's working really hard. They're going to have to use it here. There's no... They have splintered away, having said that. Now Stormers players coming back in. I'm surprised they haven't been told to use it, because it did stop for quite a while, but it's still going. It's still going. Andre Hugo Fenter. Or it's a full moon. I don't know whose it is. There's an Irish moon out there, though. And Evan Lewis is about to have a... Well, that's more of Ian Henderson than I'd ever need to see. And I think Evan Lewis was going to bend down and have a look at the ball until he saw what was down there. And then he thought, you know what, I'm actually quite happy for the referee to make a decision here. That could have been a rather nasty moment for Evan Lewis. Frank say, comedy of errors, terrible kicking, errant decision making, worst Storm's performance this year. So I think the question is, it's held up. The question is, where is it? See, Evan Lewis wants to go have a peep, but Jake White must be loving this both team, so won't worry with the balls in the form. Jonathan saying it's a big call. How are we on time? 5 minutes left. So the time on my screen is the correct one. So it will be, I think it's an Ulster line out, if I'm correct. Yeah, John Cleese got it all in hand. So it will be an Ulster put in. And I kind of thought that Andrew Hugo Fenter should have tried to use that a bit earlier. No, Nick Timoney break off the back, as he often does for Ulster scrums. He and Dwayne Vermeulen swap around there. Radswas is lucky for Liebach. We're not doing a player rating show after this game. You know, I actually thought about it. I think I'm going to do it for the final. Bring back the player rating show. Would have been interesting. Mega Man saying Ulster been lucky with the referee decision. To be fair, I think if you look at the penalty count, I think Stormers have actually conceded more penalties. I mean, Ulster conceded more penalties. Brock Harris is on the park for the final 4 minutes, but unless something really different starts happening, it looks like the Stormers' road in the URC could be coming to an end. Benta goes to Diamani. Well, they've got penalty advantage. And you see, this is the problem. Now it's too late to take the points. They could have easily won this game. They've gone for the corner once again. They have to go for the corner now. But if you had just taken the 3 earlier, you'd be well ahead, yeah. Okay, so Stormers are out. Martin saying could now be 17-15 ahead. I mean, and some. That's not the full moon we all long to see. I wouldn't blame the ref, says Brian M. And they've conceded the line. I mean, it's literally like I'm watching Ulster. I mean, Leicester all over again. No, we don't need the points. No, we don't need the points. And then you concede the line out. It's just so dumb. Look, he says, missed the game, but I hear the ref is biased against the Stormers. What's your take very briefly? Those of you that watch me, like, I hate talking about the referee. I don't think he's been as bad as everybody's saying, to be honest. There have been some calls I haven't agreed with, for both sides, to be fair. So I think the problem is you tend to focus on the decisions that go against you far more than the decisions that go for you. For example, the red card. Yeah, there is a red card. Easy decision to make because, I mean, RJ Smith's got his hands like that, basically, over Ian Henderson. So you got to make that decision. Ruanel around the outside. Ruanel. Last minute. There's a red card to RJ Smith. That's why it's down to 14 men. So, I mean, I don't think it's been the best refereeing performance, but I can tell you, I can tell you for free, Stormers did not lose this because of the referee. They had every opportunity to win this. They've turned down 12 kickable points. And 15 if you count the missed drop goal, for example. They've missed 2 conversions. So Marnie Liebach has left 4 points out there. That's a really good gap. Sorry, they're actually playing some decent rugby all of a sudden. 15 seconds, though. They cannot make one mistake, and it's over for the Stormers. One mistake. If they go over in the corner and Marnie Liebach misses, for example, we'll go into extra time. So this could still become pretty exciting. And the problem with the way that Marnie Liebach's kicking, they kind of need to score quite close to the poles. Evan Lewis pick up and go. Rob Herring's all over that ball. It's available. There goes the hooter. One mistake. Liebach goes to Ruanel. Recycle it to Marnie Liebach. He's a little bit isolated. Runs to Dwayne Vermeulen. Advantage. Penalty advantage. Yeah, advantage here. So free roll of the dice. Amaklava is driven back. And they'll have the penalty. Well, it's right in front. Decision time. What are you going to do? Yeah, tap and go, scrum, line out. Again, it shouldn't even be this. You know? Evan Roos is down. Doesn't look particularly happy either, by the way. But yeah, I think what I would say is that the referee is not the reason the Stormers lost today. Stormers were their own worst enemies. First of all, they didn't play well, but they in the last 15 to 20 minutes, they've turned down 15 points, maybe. And they only needed 6. If Monty Liebach had kicked his 2 conversions, one of them was quite difficult, was on the left-hand side. The other one was very achievable. So even if it's 12 points, for example, then at 64 minutes, you're taking the 3 points, leveling the game. He missed a drop goal, which he probably should have slotted, given the fact that he was about 4 meters left of the poles. So, yeah, regardless of take away the referee, and they still lose this game because the decision-making was really poor. And they've gotten every single time they've gotten into the final, the red zone or the 22, basically, apart from those first couple of tries, they haven't had a clue what to do. So we are going to restart with a scrum. That has been the decision that the Stormers have taken with the penalty. I'm sure the thinking here was that they want to try and get Evan Lewis to pick it up off the back of the scrum and go over. Down far side, we have a reset. Right, so we are on, I think, does it show you on the map where we are? We are literally on the 5 meter there, right by the poles. So there are... That's why my little checker's so cool. That's exactly where the scrum is. Couple of resets here. We need a decision here, referee. Does Stormers have 14 people? I see a red card. Yep, RJ Smith was shown a red. Right, we are well into extra time here. That's a very solid scrum. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. They're going to have to use it. Now they're trying to get a second shove. And it's gone up. We're going to have another reset. Oh, goodness me. So another reset scrum on the 5 meter. And Tom O'Toole has gone down in a heap with cramp. Is the replacement tight end, and what a time for him to have to come on if he does so. And that's Brocaris putting the squeeze on. We're all saying, yes, battle 14 stupid ones. Matthew Dick says you can't stick your finger opposition eye to you. Which team deserved to win regardless of the outcome? Ulster. Ulster, I think, definitely have been the better side. Maybe not been able to capitalize on it, but they've managed the game. They could have managed the game better. But they've been the better side. They would deserve this, to be honest, more than the Stormers. Stormers just didn't seem to want it. Well, they've had to make a replacement, by the way. Milosinovic is on, and he will have one contribution to make in this game, and that will be anchor the scrum, don't fuck up, basically. Imagine being put on just for the final scrum and say, right, just don't stuff it up. Shout out to Rob Herring, by the way, who's played the full 83 minutes. As a hooker, that's very unusual. John Andrews sitting there going, well, this sucks. But Rob Herring has played very well today, so you can understand why you're not going to move him. Dave Muir has also been fantastic. Could very well be in the man of the match conversations, to be honest. Right, here we go. Stable is the call. Hold. It's available for Herschel. I mean, Diamond, I'm not sure was complete. Oh, David Phillips is just short. Evan Ruiz is short as well. There was somebody on the ball there. Claims for holding. Herschel Yankees. Goes to Nidle Bashir. They go to Monty Liebach. Monty Liebach, long pass out to Warwick Land. Well, Warwick Land's over. That's a bit unnecessary, chaps. Well. They're over. But Liebach has to kick this over. It's not a difficult kick. It should be. Well, they've scored. Now it comes to the kick. So, Liebach, who has kicked pretty poorly. Oh, my living. This is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, by the way. He's kicked pretty averagely the entire day. If he kicks this over, the Stormers have booked a place in the final. If he doesn't, it will go to extra time. Warwick Khalad, the try scorer. But Monty Liebach, the man who controls the fate. It's not easy. He missed this. He missed one in a similar position earlier. Does he have the metal? Can he handle the pressure? Stormers scored the first two of the game, and nothing since then. John Dobson, beautiful Ronnie, can barely watch. Look at the players up on the bench. Their expressions say it all. Right, here we go. Here we go. Francois says, will be typical Liebach to slot this kick after missing sitters all day, literally, and then be like, sharp. It's 5 meters in from the left-hand side touchline. It's on the screen there in the tracker. It's actually further out than that. Monty Liebach, here it goes. And he has... It's gone. It's over! It's over! It's snuck in! The Stormers are going to the final. Heartbreak for Ulster. And it didn't look convincing either. Well, book your tickets, Bulls, back to South Africa. Next week, we will have the URC final in Cape Town. And the man who had an absolute shocker of a game. In fact, very much the reason that that kick was so important. I mean, he had to nail it, to be honest. He had to nail it because he had a much easier conversion, which he had missed. And had he nailed that, then this would be over. But he does stand firm. And Stormers have burgled a win in the semi-final. Well, at the end of the day, it's the scoreboard that matters. I mean, I might come across as being a hater if I said I don't think they deserve it. But, yeah, what a match. 2 brilliant semi-finals, by the way. This competition is elite, folks. It's elite. It is elite. The URC is better than the Premiership, better than the top 14. The URC might be more entertaining than the Rugby World Cup. You know, we have to have started having these conversations. Is this the best tournament that ever was? Like, should the European Champions Cup actually Like, should they, like, if you win the European Champions Cup, should that book your place in the URC? These are the questions we need to be having. Well, it's heartbreak for Ulster, but what a match. Right, Bulls will be on the plane tomorrow. They'll be back here. North versus South Derby. A South African will win the first URC. Let that settle in, hey? A South African team will win the first ever URC. See, they didn't even know. They were waiting for the flag to go up. That's how close it was. Yippers. People, thank you so much for another fantastic watch along. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We are 25 people away from 10,900. So even if we don't get to 11,000, let's try and see if we can get to 10,900, and we'll try and push for 11,000 next weekend. Please do smash a like on the way out as well. Thank you very much. If you'd like to become a member, Damien Williams to be named man of the match. I mean, that just sums it up, doesn't it? If you'd like to become a member of the Fair Sports Members Club, please check out the link at the top there. Apart from that, we'll check you guys on Tuesday. I think we're gonna have our live shows back. In fact, we might have a Monday daytime show. We'll have our schedule out on the channel on Monday, which will have all our live streams and stuff like that. We're going to start doing a bit of footy quite soon, into some Formula 1 as well. It's a short week next week for us Africans because it's a public holiday on Thursday, so plenty to get into it. But yeah, please do subscribe on the way out. Another 23 of you would be really appreciated and get to that 10,900 mark. Keep safe, keep well. We'll see you guys all next time.